Alrighty. Should be live any second now. Okay, awesome. What's going on, Super Comic Book family? I know last time I called everybody Super Comic Book fans, but this is a family here at the Super Comic Bros channel. And you know what? We want to get right into it. No long intros. Stokes has been steaming ever since this last stream went on. And let's do a little intro. We got the one and only Stokes the writer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing,
I'm here
buddy?
for the smoke. There's no pleasantries. I'm here for the smoke. Let's do it.
All smoke. All right, and we got the man himself, Trevor.
What's going on, guys? We're ready to remind this old head generation who's next in the grave. You feel me?
Damn. And then we got Special Agent Julio coming in, ready to supply some smoke.
Yeah, let's get it, man. I'm on assignment.
All right, guys. Well, we already know what we're all here for, right? It's the smoke space, and we're talking about how to handle beef in the community, and how to handle some haters. Stokes, you're one to attract a lot of haters here in the comic book space. Could you maybe talk about what draws them to you?
We did the apology yesterday, so I won't be sarcastic. I think when you are honest, I think in the community we're expected to behave a certain way. You're supposed to be humble. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be boisterous, and I don't really follow that kind of like line of thinking. So it kind of attracts people that are very angry, essentially.
Absolutely. Trevor, do you have anything to add to the haters?
Moreover, man, I just think that people are taught to be nice, and nice in a kind of superficial way, and to kind of go off of the coattails of what Stokes was saying. People want to be nice in a very prohibitive way, and people don't for whatever. I think people feel threatened by confidence, and therefore they expect everybody else to kind of like get down on their level. But to be honest with you, man, like any piece of advice I've ever heard from creators worth their salt or creators that I admire, the constant topic of conversation is that when you're good early on in your career, you have to have a little bit of a big head, because everybody is going to be looking to pop it. And that's how you get through that uphill battle and put yourself in a situation where, you are the sort of household name in the industry. So, yeah, man, I just think it's about carrying yourself with what you believe in without being, I don't know, like overly aggravated. Just be real, be you. And if anybody has a problem with that, then that's on them.
Beautifully said. Special Agent Julio, what about you, man? How do you feel about haters?
I mean, listen, if you survey history, all throughout history, when people buck tradition, that's when the most, innovation occurs. That's where you get all the best stuff, is when you attack tradition, and not in like, let's say like a adversarial sense, but if you go against the grain and you want to create new things, that's how the best stuff gets here.
Absolutely. And my thought process on it is everyone is 50-50 on almost everything, right? Like nothing on this planet has anyone that has 100% for it and 100% against it. So in my view, if you have haters, that means you got lovers too. Like the only way to have somebody have hate is for your work and for your personality and for the things that you do to generate a strong emotional response. And if you're doing that, you're succeeding. You're getting enough eyeballs on you to actually have haters. Because if nobody knows who you are, if nobody knows what you're doing, then you can't have a fucking hater, dude. So I think haters are a good thing. The more haters, the better. And honestly, if you got a hater and they're commenting on your shit and, helping that algorithm, more power to us,
100%. And you know what? People keep telling me we're talking about you and not your comics. Nobody's talking about those people. At least they're talking about me in some fashion. unlike some of these other people. So fuck them.
Damn. So Stokes, you, sir, have quite a few haters, and one such hater actually decided to spend quite a bit of time on their stream talking about you, and talking smack. And I think it would only be right, since they feel such a need to farm us for content, that we farm their bitch asses for some content. So
bitch asses.
we're about to take a look and react to the Niobe Comics live stream that Stokes was on just a little while ago, that started quite a bit of controversy
Real quick, Chris,
in the
do
space.
you
What's
want
going
to
on,
see
buddy?
the original thread real quick? Go over that real quick so we can just
Absolutely.
have a point of reference.
Let's give some people some context to this before we get to this stream and the reactions.
The smoke.
Let me pull up that original thread. But while I'm doing that, before we get too much into negativity, what's something nice that somebody has said to you lately about creating, or just what you're doing in life, that's made you want to keep going and persevere and get better at this whole comic book making thing? Let's start with Trevor. You gotta. Yeah, sorry, Stokes. Guess first.
I don't know, man. I guess one of the most impactful things for me was on a previous Kickstarter. There was a tier for somebody to have like a private video chat, and the I'm not gonna like name them because they do have like a YouTube presence as well, but they had told me that reading my comic was helping them cope with their PTSD. And while the story, the themes of the story were meant to be wide reaching and easily accessible, that's just not something that I ever thought I would hear. And to think that I created something for me to put out in the world that connects with other people on that level, it really is a big motivator. Anytime I feel frustrated about fighting some sort of uphill battle in the comics industry, because that's really what it is for the longest part of your career, I think. All I do is think about people like that guy and other people at conventions that just feel enthusiastic about this thing that I made, and in a way that I never would have thought was liable. And I to go off of what you were saying earlier, Chris, in the regard that it's easier for somebody to unload criticism, and people are more likely to unload criticism online than they will praise you. So when you hear those things and you realize, man, like if there are a handful of people that are coming up to me at conventions and telling me these things, or shooting me DMs online, it makes you begin to wonder how many other people are affected by what you're creating in a way that means something to them, and ultimately allows you to connect with them. So at the end of the day, telling these stories, as much as it's entertainment, for me it's a lot of it is about how you can connect with people through stories, because that's what we are. Like as a human race, we are a storytelling group of creatures, for better or for worse. So yeah, man, that stuff's super meaningful for me.
Damn, Trevor, wise beyond his years. And you know what? A lot of people could learn some things from people that are younger than them. And Trevor is actually 25, 24.
25.
So just in his mid 20s, he's a youngin', and he's got a lot of important things to say. So Stokes, how about you, my friend?
I'm actually we were in a Twitter space, something that nobody uses apparently, and it's actually Trevor said something very nice to me. He was like, and he can correct me if I'm misquoting him, but he said that he I'm gonna say watching me, but witnessing sounds better. He said that I kind of helped motivate him, or kind of helped to get over that mental block where it's like self promo is bad, or being your biggest supporter is bad. And he told me that, and that was like a really refreshing, like great thing to hear from a fellow creator that I respect.
No, yeah, you hit the nail on the head, man. And I appreciate that. And I think for as much confidence as I have in my ability to create, there was always that sort of hang up for me where I didn't know how to best approach, basically convincing other people to take a look at the material, because I've always felt like once you get into it, you're mine. But the operative thing is marketing, right? Like getting people to engage with the material. And so, seeing your approach and being very unapologetic, that was definitely a push for me, man. So kudos to you, and I appreciate that.
Kudos. Special Agent Julio.
Yeah, my mom said I was really handsome today.
Damn.
That really made my day. So yeah.
You are handsome to us, buddy. And for me, myself, I don't know, what was the last nice thing somebody said to me? You know what it was? The boys were complimenting my eyes, which has nothing to do with my writing. So, but I'll take all the compliments that I can get. Anybody wants to compare me to Jackson Avery, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. But yeah, so enough with the pleasantries, enough with the niceness. Let's get to the smoke. Let's get to the heat. And we're going to give everybody a little context for exactly what started all this beef. And it started with a little Twitter thread by our boy Stokes the writer, where he decided to make a post about marketing and what he had learned from a thread regarding marketing, which ended with a nice little Stokes zinger. 1, absolutely nothing. Which obviously was made for a little bit of engagement, just to get it. But he also had some points. He did make a thread that was supposed to be informative and help him and help other creators, and maybe didn't necessarily get the best responses. So it felt warranted. And then we have hater number 1, Niobe, that decided to hop on and goad our boy Stokes, the writer, Stokes, the newly reformed bottom, the Luigi of Super Comic Book Bros. You just got to hold that one, little bro. And Niobe came in and said, okay, I need to know who you are, dude. All I hear lately is Stokes this, Stokes that. Who are you? As far as I can tell, you're new, you can get funded, not much beyond. So where does this expertise come from? And, I think straight off the bat, it should be noted that just the fact that he heard of Stokes for no reason other than marketing should show that Stokes's marketing techniques have worked, because otherwise we wouldn't have known who Stokes was. And obviously Niobe's marketing techniques are not working because we had no idea who he was before he decided to attack our beloved bottom Stokes. And Stokes replied with the great reply, getting funded isn't enough. And I think it's important that we take a quick look at Stokes's first campaign, DK issue 1, a supernatural thriller, right? 107 backers, 3.7K. His first campaign, not using Twitter, only using platforms like Facebook and the like to get funded. And I think it's important to realize that if you've never launched a campaign before, thinking that you're going to make 3.7K is a little ambitious, to say the least. So Stokes, our boy Stokes, came out of the gate swinging. He had a great first campaign, and he's only built on it from there. So, Stokes.
Oh, a little preview for later.
A little preview for later. Stokes, the thread continued. He replied, "That's correct." Where you decided you wanted all the smoke. And it is a long thread. I don't know if we're going to go through every single little piece of it, but it all did culminate with Stokes being invited onto Larry's show, which may have seemed like an olive branch, a way to squash the beef that was sort of brewing on Twitter and talk it out like men, and turned out to be more of an ambush to try and sun Stokes on live for everybody to see. And Stokes, what do you have to say about this Twitter thread before we get into that?
I'm only Luigi because I'm taller than you, little bro. So let's start there. No, yeah. So I think what you hit on some similar points. Larry is low key proving my point, like why this is working, because it's like I've heard of you, we've never heard of him. So I really think you're gonna see that bro is really missing the point. And something that you're gonna see is a recurring thing is him accusing me of something and then proceeding to do the exact thing that he's criticizing me for. Also, anybody, if either nobody knows Larry or the people that do know Larry have nothing good to say about him, bro. It's insane. The people, I got into a beef with Larry like on Twitter, and people were coming out the woodwork to say, yeah, that guy's wild. Like, oh, he did this, he did that. All newer creators plus one Travis Gibbs who just fucking hates Larry. So it's kind of like I can find some people to say some good things about me, but Larry seems to be just all bad. And then yeah, so I think Julio has something to say, but that's all I had to get out there.
All right, Julio, you want to hop in real quick?
Yeah, if you like start off with, I need to know who you are, you're already starting off on an L. It's already an instant loss because it's like, bro, no one is asking who you are, which I think is one of the more important points here.
Absolutely. Before we continue, we have another guest joining the stream, Mr. Armin.
Hello.
What's going on, buddy?
It's going good. It's going good.
You're also a victim of the ambush on stream, if I believe. If I didn't.
I'm basically just a supporter here of Stokes. You know what I'm saying? But I was not on that stream, but I was part of a different stream. That was semi-ambushal. Here. But I would say that anybody who tries to tear down creators, we're against that, and that's why we got to show Stokes some support here.
Yeah, this is a support group for people who got jumped. This is not what we're doing here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Trevor, do you have anything to say about this thread before we hop over to reacting to the live stream?
Well, I'm kind of jealous, man, because Stokes has like his #1 fan right then and there, and that's pretty valuable to have a fan with so much energy to devote to you that he wants to plan entire live streams. He wants to spend his time floating around chats with you in it. He wants to create fake Twitter accounts to hop into your spaces, man. If that ain't a fan, I don't know what is. So in that regard, I'm jealous. I wish I had me a Larry in my life.
You'll have one after this. You're gonna have the Larry after this. Like, yeah. So we can circle back to Armin's experience. I think we should kind of get into the actual video, but like, I'm boisterous. I'm whatever I am. Armin's one of the nicest guys on the platform. So if you got beef with Armin, you need to self-reflect. That's all I'll say.
Fair. I've only heard good things from Armin. Only heard good things from everybody here, honestly. So I really don't think beef is very is very good for the indie space, but it is good for clicks and it is good for views. So honestly, let's keep it going because Stokes and I are trying to hit 100 subscribers first of all, everybody. So if you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment in the chat. We need all the virality that we can get to make sure that we hit 100 subs and beyond. We're trying to get to 1,000 hopefully by next year, so we can really start to pump out content and reinvest in the channel and make sure that all the content that's coming to you guys at the Super Comic Book Family YouTube channel is top tier and top notch. But with all that said, let's take a listen to the stream.
How you doing?
Good.
What's up, man?
So you're all the rave, my friend.
I am.
That's the word on the skeet.
Is that the word? That's not the impression I got.
What's the impression you got?
I don't know, man. It's from what you were telling me. You didn't seem to be a big fan.
It's the ego, right? This is one of the topics we're going to talk about tonight, my friend, is ego in comics. When is too much too much? And also, if you want to stick around afterwards, because I'm sure you'll have opinions on this too, our good friend Tyler Carpenter went to war today against Snowy Sasquatch, talking about books not being fulfilled and how it hurt.
Okay, getting a little off track there. The first thing that he mentions is your ego, Stokes. What do you have to say to people that think that you have a huge ego?
Suck my dick. You can remute me.
Okay. You know what? Straight to the point. I appreciate that. Let's keep going. Let's see what else they have to say about
hurts the entire
boy
indie
Stokes.
community.
I think I'll just stick around for the ego conversation.
Right. Why the ego when you're a rookie?
What's a rookie?
Someone that's new to our space.
What's new?
3 campaigns in.
3 campaigns in is new. So when I do my next campaign, I can have an ego.
Maybe I'll have to see where you fall on the scale.
Jeez.
I mean, it just feels like a bit. It feels a bit obligatory. I also think what's being missed is.
Oh, we're gonna go through the tweets in detail, my friend.
All right, Stokes. Do you have anything to say about what we just heard?
Immediately, it's immediately. So this is what Larry's going to do. He's going to try to invalidate everything I say because I'm new. So immediately he knows I've done 3 campaigns. So he says, "Why are you talking so much when you're a rookie?" And then I say, "How many? What's a rookie? What's new?" He says 3 campaigns, just because that's the amount I had. So real nasty work. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we could take a second to like ruminate on this a little bit. This idea of what it means to be a rookie, and can we take advice or give advice if you're new to any sort of space creatively? And I think it is sort of gatekeeping to say that if you're new to a space, you can't say anything, because I've seen people that have had 1 campaign and have done amazing on that first campaign. And obviously they knew something. Maybe they got a little lucky. Maybe they had the secret sauce to make an awesome project. But that all aside, they had some knowledge that made them as in such a good place that they can fund and make a lot of money on their first campaign right out of the box. So I think just because you're new, I don't think it means you can't share your opinions and share your experiences, because also it's important to know that we all have lives outside of comic books that have nothing to do with comic books, and experiences that have nothing to do with crowdfunding that we're bringing to this space and to Kickstarter and to Twitter and the indie comic books in total. So I know, Trevor, you have something to say. If you want to hop in.
Yeah, man. I think it shows a complete lack of awareness in him to be talking about ego when Homeboy, his entire shtick is nude women. My guy has more #1s than Marvel in any given year. So clearly it's not about the story. It's not about the art. It's not about connecting with people. It's about selling people on pretty, I would say, tasteless nudity. And so he has the audacity to talk to somebody about ego when he feels so threatened by a newcomer like Stokes, a newcomer, that he feels the need to stomp him down. It seems unnecessary to me. I don't think newness is really as much of a factor, because I think, any well-reflective human being is going to have something decent to add, and whether or not their suggestion or advice or recommendation ends up becoming productive for you, it doesn't matter, because at least now you have an avenue that you are not going to waste time going down if you've discerned that it doesn't work. So give everybody, their chance. But also, I think that there is a difference. I would rather listen to Stokes about marketing than I would listen to the mayonnaise man himself, Larry Patrick Higgins, because the guy clearly has no other marketing device than nudity. Stokes is selling a book he believes in, and has gotten a pretty decent groundswell of support. So I think it's a lot more about the type of person and the type of and the awareness that they bring to the conversation, more than it is actually about sheer amount of time, because there are people that have been in the comic book industry failing upwards for 40 years. You know what I mean? So that doesn't really mean anything.
Absolutely. Special Agent Julio, what do you got for us, buddy?
Well, he literally opens up in like sort of a gatekeeping position by saying that what he's doing hurts all indie creators. Are you guys hurt? Do you guys need to say your safe word? Please say your safe word if Ant's going a little too hard.
What's the safe word? Anyone, what's pineapple? Yeah, I disagree with that as well. I don't think he's hurting indie creators. I honestly think it's beneficial for newer creators to talk out so that other newer creators or people that haven't even stepped into the space yet feel the confidence in themselves to build, create, market themselves. And if we're just stomping out all these new voices because they are, 3 campaigns isn't enough, 4 campaigns probably won't be enough, 5 campaigns probably won't be enough. I mean, if he hits 5 figures in the next campaign, you have to hit 20K. This is such a arbitrary bar that's being placed on all of us. Really, he's honestly hurting the community because he's placing this bar on all newer creators that you need to hit this amount. You have to be here for this amount of time to say anything, and that's just honestly ridiculous. And anyone that knows Stokes, and I think this is an important part, and he might get into this a little bit, is that anyone that knows Stokes and anyone that knows me, Trevor, Armin, and Julio, is that we all listen and ask questions to creators that do it better than us. We all are very accepting and willing to learn because we want to learn. We're just getting into this. We want to get as big as possible, and we want to do as much as we can to become the best creators that we can. So I think it's important to realize that just because Stokes may have an ego, it doesn't mean that he doesn't listen to people like Pat Shand, Charlie Stickney, who are frequently in some of his, unwatched Twitter spaces or unlistened to Twitter spaces and dropping huge knowledge bombs for everyone, and it's not just them. We have people like Richard that comes into the spaces that's been in comic books since before any of us were born, and just dropping knowledge as well. And I think it's just important to remember that all of us are very open to learning, and just because we're new, it doesn't mean we are unable to learn anything, because we want to learn. But we do also have things to help people that may be at our level or maybe might be a little bit older, because we are of a newer generation, and we obviously know a little bit of something. We have 11 people watching us live, fluctuating between 11 and 15, and this is our second live stream, so I feel like we may have a little bit of an idea of how to get our name and word out there. Armin, I want to get you in here real quick. How do you feel about newer creators giving advice and newer creators having an ego?
I think, he calls it an ego. I think that's almost like a diss when it shouldn't be. Confidence and excite. It's almost more like excitement that, we're getting into the space. And we see this a lot in all facets of life when these new people come, almost like excited doe-eyed. They're excited, right? And these people have been doing it for many years. They're kind of not really jealous, but they're like, why did they lose their excitement that they can't reach that level of excitement again, right? So we're seeing this level of where he's calling it an ego almost immediately, kind of like dissing Stokes. I think that's not the case. I think we're just excited and where we can take this industry and the future in the next few years, where it hasn't been before. And that's the entire point of indie community, to keep growing. And I will say that, it's not even about learning and even asking and taking advice from new creators. It's always about keeping on the cutting edge, right? For whatever's not even just trending, but it's almost like learning what's not even predicting what's next, but learning what's happening right now and what will be the, coming up in the next few months in the next cycle, and making sure you're always on the cutting edge, because that's how you get ahead. That's how you stay ahead. And it never ends. It's not like in 2 years, I'm not a new creator, I don't have to learn anymore. That's like a crazy thing. That's a crazy way to think. And that's maybe how you stagnate, right? That's how you stop becoming better and putting out good content. So that's, I think new creators have a lot to offer. And I think all of us have a lot to offer. So, yeah.
Very well said. Very well said. Special Agent Julio, you wanted to hop right back in and say a few more words.
Right, and also he's coming like to Armin's point, like he's coming like from this perspective where he wants to standardize your skill or level as a creator. Like that literally limits the creativity. It stifles creativity if you want to standardize it. Like, you know, put these arbitrary limits on who can have an opinion and who can't. It's ridiculous. Like, what is he like an extra dark black belt in comic book making? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Damn. All right, so let's head back into this video and see what else Larry feels like saying to our boy Stokes.
Oh yeah. Nah, I mean it's just, but like it's like a lot of the things people are saying to me is that things are subjective in art, which is true, but people have different reactions to different things. And to me, it's like telling somebody they're wrong for how their online persona works is like it doesn't make sense to me.
Is it an online persona only? Are you playing a character? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I'm like a very, very friendly, nice guy. To me, I see so much in the comic space is like there's a lot of loser mentality stuff. Not that people are losers, but people are really down on themselves. It's very self-defeatist.
I think this is a good point to talk a little bit about this loser mentality or this defeatist mentality in comic books. This is something that Stokes and we've been talking about for a little while. So I don't know if you have some extra feelings about it, but he there is this idea that, you know, only the art is good in our books. Like as a writer, like a lot of people like put down their own writing or their own art or whatever it is of their projects and aren't very like confident in themselves. And Stokes preaches against that, you know, and a lot of us are preach against that, you know, being confident in ourselves. And that might be a newer generational thing and might be because of the media and the artists that we sort of consumed as we were growing up. But it's true that there is this self-defeatist mentality in the comic book space, and it's not something that we really necessarily want, right? We want to be promoting ourselves and being confident in ourselves. So Stokes, do you have anything extra to add to that?
Six-figure daddy is on his way. Pat Shan, you know, all this talk about older creators and new creators, and whether or not we can have an opinion. Well, we got an OG coming in, so he'll give his thoughts. As far as the self-defeatism is it's true. People are it's expected of you, and if you don't have the self-defeatist, if you act like you know what you're doing, you're even competent, you have an ego to some people.
Absolutely. Special Agent Julio, what you gotta say to that?
Yeah, I feel like if you're trying to create anything, you have to have some level of confidence in it, that it's worth even working on, like trying to improve. Like if Larry has a humiliation kink, that's his problem. Stop projecting on everyone else.
Damn. Hey, yo. All right, Trevor. What do you gotta say to that? What do you feel? How do you feel about that?
No,
About
I mean, I agree.
mentality?
I agree, man. Comics are hard as fuck to get into. Like, I mean, I've had quicker success like sending out screenplays for like competitions through larger studios than I've had through comics. And it's because comics is a hard nut to crack. And like I said before, man, like one of the most pivotal pieces of advice I got this summer when I was talking to Pete Tomasi, he was saying, listen, man, like when you are good early on, you have to have a certain level of ego because everything is going to try to deflate you, whether it's people explicitly doing things to try to put you down or just the nature of the industry and how fast everything moves and just how much either rejection or complete sort of ignoring goes down. You know, you've got to be confident, especially, you know, if you want to make it for the long haul. And I think a lot of us do. So yeah, just, you know, for somebody in Larry Blueberry's position to be, you know, shitting on the young guy for having an idea, it just seems incredibly counterintuitive. It seems like the guy has an incredibly small ego. So, you know what I mean? Like I have no space for guys like that. And to be frank, like it probably helps that I don't respect the material that he's making in the slightest. So, you know, I think the guy's a goof. And at the end of the day, I've always said this. I think it's even on my freaking website, man. Do not sleep on the young, hungry artist because they will surprise you. And I think that's exactly what Larry's doing. He's getting stagnant. All he does is make the same type of material, and now you have an entire generation of young bucks, ready to feed him to the wolves.
Damn, Trevor's spitting right now. Trevor is spitting. Armin, what do you got to say? Got anything to add, my friend?
No, it's exactly right. I think it's exactly that idea of, that we're coming in now with all these new ideas, and we've talked, like even Stokes just saying that Twitter spaces are a thing, and people not understanding that it actually is, and it can be like a tool for marketing. They can't grasp it, and probably because they don't want to. There's a lot of things why, but it's one of those ideas where I would say that, Trevor even said that, getting into comics is hard. I will even say, my God, life in general is hard. So to even kind of like make these assertions that, you can't be confident, or you shouldn't have an ego, especially when you're starting out. Like, everybody has, not only their own experiences of what they bring to the table, but they have their own strengths and weaknesses, right? So to say that, even the greatest creator, he has weaknesses, and maybe somebody else's strengths, even if he's a newer creator, maybe he can already surpass him in certain areas. And marketing is one of them. Social media, keeping up with technology is definitely one of them. It's all these different things we can definitely have to think about. Where somebody who's reluctant to accept new creators, and there's a lot of reasons why people are don't want to give us a voice, I guess I would say. And it's not just in comics; it's all around in different industries.
Absolutely. I also think the point should be made that it's not like you have to be young to be a newer creator, right? And you don't have to be like a cusper or like a late millennial, right? Like anyone with a new generational mindset, a forward thinking, right, sort of falls into this bucket that we're talking about. And it's not just, people that were born in the 90s and later, right? It's anyone that's trying to be progressive and forward thinking and making the best of the technology and the resources that we have around ourselves right now.
I just want to jump in because you make a great point when you said that it's not even about age, right? It's about being a thought leader, trying to do something different and new. And Larry's not trying to do anything different or new. Like, I would say we all are trying probably to do something different and new. Maybe that's right there is the point. It's not even age gated. It is about what you're trying to do for the community and what you're trying to do that's new and exciting.
Yeah, I think if Larry had his way, we wouldn't be able to stream this. We'd still be reading at candlelight. There'd be no electricity. We'd still be churning butter. Like, there would be no innovation.
Damn. Damn. Julio, Special Agent Julio coming in, cooking them. Let's hit back to the video and see what else Niobe feels like saying to our boy Stokes.
That
is true.
To me, I like to combat that. Different people need different things. So maybe somebody might be happy, or maybe somebody will be motivated by self defeatist tweets, but maybe the other person may be motivated by braggadociousness. That
would you say that you come off as antagonistic?
Yes.
Why?
Why do I try to come off antagonistic, or why do I seem antagonistic?
Either or.
Kind of what I'm just saying. Like,
all right, this is a good space to stop, because just this question shows that he doesn't understand what Stokes is doing and what we're all doing when we're making tweets. When you're this is important to remember, everybody. Twitter is about engagement. It doesn't matter if it's likes, retweets, or comments, okay? As long as people are interacting with whatever you posted, it's good for the algorithm. So being antagonistic is good, okay? If you want people to see your shit, saying something that's like a hot take is going to get you more views than just tweeting out your link, okay? And you know what? It's amazing because Twitter and Elon Musk has now shown us exactly how many views every single tweet gets, right? So you can even see that if you tweet a link, that shit's going to get suppressed. You tweet a hot take that has people commenting on it, that's going to get a lot more views and going to go a lot more viral. And people are going to naturally funnel into your profile to see what you're promoting, to see what you're doing, and to follow you if they're really into what you're doing, right? And if they don't like you, they're going to unfollow you or they're going to block you. But as I was saying before, as in everything in life, if people love you, people are going to hate you. right? If people are unfollowing you, people are going to follow you, right? If people back your campaign, naturally people are going to unback your campaign, right? It's just proof that you're hitting a wider and larger audience. Okay. So if anyone wants to hop in, but that was just one of the things that got me a little bit heated, because he's talking all this smack, like, and he obviously has no idea what the hell he's talking about. There's a reason for why you're being antagonistic. So you shouldn't even need to ask that question if you understand what people trying to harness the platform at its maximum are doing.
Yeah, real quick, like, and also antagonism doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, it could literally just be antagonism towards dominant ideas, which could be good or bad. There could be bad dominant ideas that you need to have antagonism against. Like, if Larry's worldview was hegemonic, we'd all still be dying of polio. There will be literally nothing would improve.
Absolutely. Trevor, what do you have to say to that?
I think it's just endemic of a larger problem in comics, and why you have an industry, that has multi-billion-dollar media properties and even insane merchandising numbers, and yet comics can't sell. And then let's be real, like, the sales numbers are going down from the direct market, so much so that you have an entire panel of people like us that are taking to creating our own products and distributing them ourselves. And the thing that I don't like about Larry's mentality is that it's endemic with larger problems in the industry, wherein nobody wants to change. Like, I understand that history is cyclical, but the fact that comics are repeating their historical cycle every 20 years, that's awful. And to diminishing returns every time. And the problem is that people are looking at smaller trends in order to assess whether or not something is successful, that give them temporary peaks. And that is again sort of conclusive with the idea that nobody is thinking outside the box. Nobody is doing anything different. We're repeating a lot of the same issues that we had in the 90s right now. And where is that getting us? You have companies that can't afford to pay their talent because they're making the same mistakes over and over and over again. The industry, any entertainment industry, any industry in general, but the comics industry in particular, needs younger voices that are coming at this with a different perspective, that are at least aware of what's going on around them, so that they can move through, whatever they need to get through. It's insane, man. I really do think that, aside from being a big mouth, little dick energy kind of guy, I think Larry's ideas and his philosophies are very much conclusive and endemic to a larger problem.
Damn. Trevor's going in today.
And I'm sick, so if Larry wants to catch me on a healthy day, by all means.
That's crazy. Stokes, you have anything to add?
Y'all said it, bro. Let's get it.
I bet. All right, let's keep going on with this video.
I think I think there needs to be balance. I think it's cool for people to be overall. I'd like for people to get along. I also don't think there's anything wrong with somebody coming in and just challenging ideas. Like, certain things people say to me, it just doesn't make sense. It's just really obligatory. Like the whole 3 campaigns thing.
Look, keep it. I was spitting, bro. Run it.
That's just.
That's you can't change your
Drum roll.
You could say that, but I could have read comics for a while. I could have been making comics for X amount of time. You don't know that.
No, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna have that conversation.
Let me say.
Who's coming from?
Yo, Pat, what's up, man?
Yeah, I'm hearing Stokes talk about. I'm not seeing his fucking mouth move. What
All
is
right. So Pat, we are reacting to that Niobe Comics interview I did with them.
the first one?
The first one. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
I was confused coming in. Yeah.
All right, let's give a little introduction to Pat. Mr. Pat Shand. 6-figure Shand. How are you doing today, buddy? Mr. Pat Shand. I'm
doing well. I'm hanging out with some newbie cucks over here,
Damn. Pat Shand, I'm glad that you're here in the space with us and on the stream, because you are a huge force in comic books in the indie space right now. I think it's not an overstatement to say, but you are very much willing to hop on a stream with a bunch of rookie cucks, as you like to say. and spread your knowledge, but also hopefully learn a little bit of something from us. And but I mean, obviously, we have a lot to learn from you, Mr. Six Figures. But how do you feel about newer creators coming in, having an ego, having a persona online that might be a little antagonistic?
Yeah, I've talked to Stokes about this before. I like it. I like personality. I've always hated how in comics people have to market with this fake humble shit. It feels self-serving. It feels like they're pretending to discount their own skill. And when we're talking about customers, right, consumers, people want to support artists that believe that they're making good art. And in comics, we have all this, this pussy marketing. And Stokes, I've always felt, he's had this brazen approach, which I've appreciated. And Stokes reminds me, as does Armin, of someone who I would meet in the real world and be their friend. So that's why I don't really enjoy hearing about how you market, how you present yourself, how it has to sort of level up with where you're at in your comics career. I'm interested in people. I like Stokes and Armin as people, and if I like you as a person, I want to see what you do as a creator. So I don't agree with that at all. The whole conversation surprised me that it even happened. It's not interesting to me. It's not a thing that I often hear veteran creators speaking about at all. I'm always interested in new perspectives. I was a new perspective, and I came in, and I was a G from the start. I had a different mindset because I came up in theater. I was doing off Broadway in New York, and I had a different sort of collaborative mindset. And when I brought that to comics, I ended up bringing new creators in myself from that scene, and I had a sort of different energy. And because of that, and also just being myself, someone who's always looking for new creators, I appreciate new energy.
Very well said, Mr. Six Figure Shand.
I didn't like how it was a long pause after what I said. I want to hear instant agreement.
I was on me. We're boomers over here. We may be cuspers and late millennials, but we're actually all Zoomers. And StreamYard is not as intuitive as it should be. That's anyway, let's Stokes, you want to hop in on this?
All right, so we got a lot of y'all in here. Space rules, one mic. Y'all know what that means. So just let's keep that in mind. Let's watch this video.
All right, definitely. We're about to hop back in on this and see how else this video goes.
With you. All right. Why don't you give us your background? Why don't we start with that?
Started making comic books in 2021. I think I started writing them in 2020. Like you said, 3 campaigns. I've done some cons. I just really like writing. I really enjoy the medium.
Okay, let's go back even further though. Like, when did you, as like a young Stokes, get into comics, and what were like some of the things you were reading? Like, give us some background here, bro.
Stokes,
I really enjoy.
Stokes, what's the picture?
Pat, we're trying to watch the.
Okay, look, like that's like when you put a dating profile, but it's fucking 10 years old. Like, who is that?
Pat, we have an hour of content to watch. If you want to say something, just hit pause in a little private chat, and then we'll go there.
Damn.
This is 8 years ago. I shaved this. I had my haircut 8 years ago. It's been a while.
Yeah, so the beef is already starting between Stokes and Pat Shand. So tune in next week for the next beef episode. We're just going to be milking all the beef.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do my own live. It's going to be called Ego in Comics, when too much is too much.
Damn,
Six Figure Shand. You know what's so funny is I was talking to a creator about how I interact with these older creators, and they were like, next you could be beefing with Pat or Charlie. And I was like, I don't know. I just fucking saw Pat. I just saw Pat like 2 months ago, bro. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But yeah, Pat's a guy for sure.
All right, well, let's head back into this.
Manga, like as a kid, more so. That was more of what I was into. I think manga is really coming into pop.
Yeah, just like once, like that's crazy. That's crazy.
What happened?
Right, let's keep going. Homie, I think it's also, just common etiquette to, try and mute your mic when you're making a lot of noise. So these guys are calling us boomers, but they're making some boomer mistakes with
It's new school.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
new
dying live on stream is like a very boomer move.
Oh, I'll get to his coughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's going to be a recurring theme where you'll see Max. I like to call him COVID patient zero. He's going to be coughing and hacking up God knows what all throughout this stream. And I only say that because he was talking shit about me. You'll hear what he says about me later. But yeah, Max.
I do appreciate though the 50 Cent energy. You know, when you hate one guy, you hate the whole squad. You know.
No, honestly, and let me be clear, real quick. Sam is cool and Leon is also cool. They were completely polite. I chopped it up with Sam after this, later after this incident. Leon was completely polite. Go back on these. I don't remember who any of these old fuckers are. Go back to so patient zero can eat a dick, and then Skeet 11717 can eat a dick as well because they were talking shit. So I don't do that. I don't do that mob mentality shit. I take everybody. Every relationship is one-on-one. These guys are talking spicy. That's why I had this energy for them.
Like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like the first. Like I used to love Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? I used to read manga to tear it up. Not that I didn't. I still enjoyed comics, like like Spider-Man. I had the Essentials. I had the Essential X-Men. I really enjoyed Essential Spider-Man. I really enjoyed Watchmen, stuff like that. It's really the big runs that I engage with.
So what made you decide to go from comic book fan to?
So before we get into this, I think this is a nice little segue, and I think is an important distinction between sort of the newer generation of comic book creators and older ones is a lot of our entry points into the comic book or just sequential art and sequential storytelling was manga, because it was way easier to find manga online and follow than traditional comic books. And for myself, I didn't necessarily have the money to go to the comic book store and buy comics, but you can sort of find manga a little bit easier online. I don't know if anybody else has a similar experience. And I'm also curious about Pat, who's just a tiny bit older than us, and how his getting into comics and how manga has affected his view on creating in the medium.
I got more into manga after I was already reading comics. My pathway into comics was the mid 2000s licensed properties. I was, enjoying TV shows and following the TV shows into the comics, which then introduced me to different writers. I read the Buffy comics, found Brian K. Vaughan through that, went to Runaways, which led me to the Marvel stuff, went to Why the Last Man, which led me to Vertigo, and so on, but I ended up finding and enjoying manga later on myself. It was more just, hopping from title to title in regular standard American comics myself. That was my journey. But I was never, a lot of these guys, the older guard are, heavy superhero guys, some like Bad Girls 90s type guys. I'm younger. I'm a young blood. I'm a young guy still. I've been doing this. I'm a young vet, dude. I've been doing this shit since 2011, full time. Over 300 comics published since 2011. And yet, young blood still pumps through my veins.
Mr. Pat Shand. Trevor, I'm curious. Tell me about yourself and your venturing into comics and what.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I was born at the tail end of the 90s. So I grew up watching a lot of the animated stuff, Batman the Animated Series reruns, The New Adventures, Batman Beyond, Justice League. I was really sort of raised on the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, Dwayne McDuffie animated stuff. And frankly, I did read manga before I read comics as a kid, because I got into a lot of the shonen stuff, and eventually I was watching beyond what they were capable of animating at the moment. So I would dive into that, and I really didn't get into like comic books until I was like 16, maybe 17 was when I opened up a pull box. and naturally that all became superhero stuff. And I happen to have gotten into comics around a time where I think a lot of innovators were doing pretty new and fresh things with superhero comics. So I think that's sort of, aside from my having grown up with a lot of them, I think that's what brought me in. But you know, as an adult now, like most of what I read is indie, you know, because I think that that's where you're getting a lot of the sort of young, hungry storytelling, the people who are unhindered by sort of larger corporate interests, and just doing new and creative things, you know, and that's what I want. That's what I want to be inspired by. Like I'm on my desk right here, like I have a handful of different indie trades like that I'm currently reading right now, just to kind of get my juices flowing while I'm sick, and it never fails.
You know, definitely, man. Armin, let me get you in here, buddy. Tell me, what was the first books, comics, manga? What got you into sequential storytelling?
I would say Monstrous, just a few years ago. It was right before the pandemic. I used to read a lot of DC stuff when I was in high school. Maybe like Arrow, part of the whole DC verse on or Arrowverse on CW, but nothing crazy. I wasn't really super impressed with the medium. It just didn't draw me. But then when I came back after college and I picked up Monstrous the first time, I was like, this is cool. This is a cool way to tell a story. This is there's so much potential here, is what I thought. And I got really excited about it, the combination of art and storytelling. And then I just kind of jumped right into it. So I would say that it was one of those things where, because I saw what it was? I saw how cool the people in the indie scene and what they were doing. And I was like, I want to be part of that. And then, Marjorie Liu, she was an Asian creator too. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool what she was able to do in this industry as an independent. And I'm like, that's what I want. And I think I could have achieved that. It kind of set this, motivated me, inspired me. I'm like, that's kind of what I want to do. And then I kind of just jumped right in. So yeah, I would say that, I didn't really grow up with it. I grew up with video games and all that stuff, but never really too big into, comics.
Word, I feel that. Does anyone want to add real quick before we head into the video?
Real quick, do you guys know the scene in Doug where Doug opens up his closet and you just see the same outfit over and over again?
Yeah.
That's Armin with sleeveless shirts. Jesus Christ, I've never seen this guy have a sleeve.
Damn, Armin, show us the guns. Show the stream. 12. You got 12 viewers.
Whoa! I don't know about that. I'll say that I'm Batman.
All right. Oh, hey, damn. Okay, all right, we got it. All right, everybody, if you want more content like that, subscribe to Armin's OnlyFans.
Lunar Smoke.
That's right.
Lunar Smoke.
I see there's something in there. Pat. I see there's a.
If you could hold that up to the screen one more time, Mr. Pat Shand.
Lunar Smoke, you cunts.
Beautiful.
Comic book creator.
It was just for me. I just really, like I said, I like the medium. It seemed like it was really financially feasible with the invention of Kickstarter that you could make a comic book and get the funding.
Who were some of your inspirations? Like, you must have been watching the space before you got involved, right?
No, not really. Not on. I would see Kickstarter projects, but I wouldn't as far as I wasn't on Twitter when I launched my first campaign.
No, were you on any social media, or did you just kind of pop up out of the blue?
It's Facebook most likely.
Facebook. I'll tell you, I think, and I know you're probably going to disagree with me already on this. I think Facebook, just in my experience, is a stronger platform for advertising your comic.
That might be true. I mean, Twitter is very, very hit or miss.
I'm not saying don't do Twitter, right?
No, that's not. Hold on.
But you do seem to be very much like you've utilized that Twitter.
We might be saying the same thing.
Okay, go on.
It's very hit or miss.
All right, Stokes, you want to hop in and say something?
Y'all know me. I hate being cut off. He's cutting me off instantly. The conversation is pretty pleasant at this point, but you can hear it a little bit. I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed because he keeps cutting me off. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, Stokes is very much into one mic. Something that we're trying to continue here with Super Comic Book Bros, and passing the mic around and making sure everybody has a chance to say something, and we're not stepping on anybody's toes here.
So because whenever you post a link, it gets throttled down. That's been another point of contention with people is whenever you have a call to action, you need to post a link. But when you do that, it gets throttled down so nobody can see it. Which is another like, yeah, point of contention. But essentially, I'll believe you. I think every platform has its pros and cons, you know. Like I don't think there's one. I think a combination of things is the best.
What drew you would you say that your strength is on Twitter?
That's what I'm primarily on. I mean, it's hard to say because my friends and family stuff is on Facebook. So those are like a lot of consistent backers. I would say if you're talking about an audience that you cultivated like purely through the work, like, yes, I would say Twitter.
Would you say that and I want everyone else to get questions in on you too, right? And I don't know if you know anyone here on the panel. If you do, like, that's cool, you know, because I know that we haven't heard of each other, but truth be told here, the comic book community is a small community. Eventually everyone's going to cross paths at some point. You know what I mean?
Well, you said you had heard of me. You said
I heard of you like as of 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we were on an Indie Comics Cast show together. And you did an Indie Comics Cast show. It was like the Zimcast or JD Calderon's show or something.
Not really sure.
Too many shows, Max, for the legend.
Yeah, I know. There's a ton of shows out there.
A lot of shows.
A lot of shows, man. But you know, you're on this one, and we're gonna, you know, and I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you a little bit. I want to see what makes you tick. You know what I mean?
All right. Okay.
We're gonna hop forward a little bit. We have a lot of video to get through, everybody, and we want to make sure we get to all the smoke.
Most of it's coughing.
That we're slowly sort of like putting the past behind us and just sort of moving forward and talking again, right?
Okay.
Amicable.
So when Tyler says something, you know, I usually take notice. A lot of times Tyler and I will disagree on everything. And we were disagreeing so much that's what sort of caused the animosity between us, right?
The two contrarians.
And these guys all know because they were all there. You know,
all right.
Saw the whole thing.
I mean, okay.
So when you got into it with Tyler, of course, that got my attention. I want to.
Did I get into it with Tyler? I don't think we did.
Well, I want to ask you a question about this. Well, first of all, what was the whole stream about between you guys? Walk me through that a little bit.
I was just promoting my Kickstarter. It was nothing, we're
friends. It was more than that. It was like a debate. That was supposed to be a debate between you two, right?
I suppose he brought up. It was a big point of contention about page turns. It's a never.
All right. So what's the problem there?
So
Stokes, you're never going to be able to escape your page turn comments. Before the new year, do you have anything to say about page turns? Do you want to take it back, or do you want to double down?
Fuck them page turns. What the fuck them page turns?
You know, fair. I think your point is people get to make books how they want to make their books, and the other main point that you have is that you want every page to effectively set up the next page. And so if you're doing that, then you're technically always working on page turns. But it's definitely going to haunt you forever, I think, Stokes. And if you ever make it big, or when you make it big, people will be bringing it up and talking how you don't respect the medium because you don't use page turns, apparently.
Larry literally brought that up in one of his streams, in a different stream. Not this 6-hour stream, a different 6-hour stream.
Hold on. Let me just say on this, because I've read Intrusive Thoughts #1, right? As I said before, I came in to comics as someone who didn't really understand the terminology at first. I learned it as I went, you know. I didn't when I was writing theater and when I was writing film and short stories, page turns, they aren't a thing. You know, that's a comics exclusive thing. But I feel that it's something that you naturally already do. You know, you have story beats as you go. Even if you don't do page turns, I always interpreted this argument more as you don't like the conversation of being told to do things a certain way because you naturally already do that, right? I mean, that's how I've always interpreted it, because it's not as if you end a scene in the middle of a page or just deflate tension at every single literal page turn. You end the page in a way that makes people want to turn the page. That is a page turn, but my interpretation is always just that you don't want to have craft shoved in your face and put a name on it, right?
Right.
I mean, yes. I mean, the point of contention, the problem, the disagreement is essentially right. Like when the page turn is going to happen. It's going to happen 50-50. And it needs to be stated that the initial conversation, Chris was there, I believe Armin was there, was very hostile and it was very antagonistic, and that kind of carried through. And that's why I said what I said. But essentially, yes. Like, essentially, what you're saying is right. I just don't like people shoving things down my throat. And then also, if you want to do them, if I don't want to do page turns, why does it matter? It's not like the books aren't good. Like it's you know what I'm saying? The lot of people making this criticism are not making better comics than me. So fuck them.
Special Agent Julio, you got anything to add, my friend?
Yeah, it's like he's not even commenting on the actual quality of the work. He just wants to be right. Like that's his only end goal here, is to try to be right about something. His entire interview style is like, okay, he watched Ice-T interrogate someone on Law and Order, and now he's gonna do it on a live stream.
Yo, where'd you find Special Agent Julio, man? He's coming in and cooking.
He was trying to destabilize the GDP of a country in South America, and I was like, yo, you should come by this. He's a CIA agent. You should come by the stream, bro. You got some hot takes.
Bro, you saw Andrew Tate get knocked? That was me, bro.
All right, too spicy. Let's move on to, before we get back into this, he mentioned intrusive thoughts. Pat did.
No, don't.
No, you don't want to.
No,
okay,
let's get into it.
I'm going to promote. Take a look at intrusive thoughts, everybody, if you haven't yet. We got Stokes' campaign launching in January, so make sure you drop a follow if you haven't, everybody.
Are you not following the campaign?
No.
That's crazy.
Wow,
No,
red-handed.
No.
Crazy.
What?
It's your own.
Nah, yo, that was fucking. Yo, this shit glitched, bro. I don't know what you're talking about, dog. Anyway,
Larry put the hit out.
We also got Control Z #1 and 2 launching January 9th, everybody. We're going live January 9th. We just are about to send out the volumes from Alpha 1. So if you've been waiting for this, make sure to check out your inboxes and your mail, because that is going to be hitting your shelves very, very soon. And then we got Trevor's campaign. Trevor has a campaign coming up, or he just launched, it looks like, just finished. Do you want to talk about your campaign, Trevor?
That's like my first campaign I ever did.
All right, somebody didn't send me the real link, dude. So somebody needs to send me what the newest one is. But if you want to talk about Area 51 Helix and
yeah, I think it should be in our private chat if you scroll up there. But yeah, man, it's a sci-fi thriller about a child from two worlds excavating the trauma of his past when his father's murder is put into question. So it sends him into the jaw of this massive Cold War genetics conspiracy and forces him to face a twisted ghost from his past that challenges everything he knows about himself. Super personal story, around really, I think, identifiable themes of identity, memory, mental loss. We have the pre-launch page up for the 6th issue, which will be probably the last time that you'll be able to get first prints of the first couple issues. And then we'll be moving on to brighter and greener pastures. But I'm super proud of this final issue. We're working with some incredible young and veteran talent in the industry to bring this one out. Super personal, visceral, raw. And yeah, man, I'm just super stoked. So I hope you guys will drop it a follow.
Well said. And Mr. Pat Shand.
Yeah.
We got Smoke Weed, See the Future, Volume 2.
Yes.
What do you got to say about this, Pat Shand?
I'm I'm mad. I just lost a pledge. I was over 28, and a generous backer said, "Fuck you guys," you know. No, Smoke Weeds to the Future. It's a series about a seer who develops a strain of weed that allows people to see what she does, the future. They smoke it, they get high, and they have a vision of their own future. They do it for therapeutic reasons, they do it for selfish reasons, and this series is about what happens when you smoke weed and see the future. It is a spinoff of Destiny New York, my ongoing fantasy title. It's been going on for 6 volumes now. It's about a world like ours where magic is a real and common occurrence. That's the only difference. It's as if the lead character that it follows is a prophecy girl. She had a prophecy made about her when she was young. She completes her destiny when she's just 13. Now she's entering her 30s, trying to figure out life post-destiny. But Smoke Me to the Future, it's a spinoff. It's a great spinoff. You can go to the link at tinyurl.com/420comic2.
Beautiful. And here is Trevor's pre-launch. So make sure everybody go follow this. I definitely had this followed before. Like, actually, I'm not trolling. I had this one followed. I swear to God. I'm not lying. But yeah, I'm glad everybody's here to promote. You know, this is also another way for us to get our names out there and using all the resources that we have to spread the good word and make sure everybody knows what's going on with us. So let's head back into this before Stokes gets a little too mad. But I mean, remember, this is why I'm Mario and you're Luigi.
Essentially, what happened was I was talking to some friends, and this is a thing I've talked about so many times. Like I said, it's a never-ending fucking cycle. So when I make my comics, essentially, I'm trying to make sure that something interesting happens on every single page. Like that, there's a cliffhanger at every page. And I don't paste my comic books specifically for the physical copy. I paste them just in general. In general, I just want good pacing. So my process is a little bit different. And so because of that, I'm not somebody who goes after or chases a page turn, essentially, because a lot of the readers are digital. And then when you have a lot happening on every page, a lot of times it will occur on the page turn, and I didn't want to have to add pages. There's a comic book I wrote where you could call it was like 4 out of 5 pages. It was something. It's like boom, 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 boom. So what am I supposed to do? Like make something not interesting happen in between those two to make it work. And so it's almost like a bit of like me arguing that this thing is essentially subconscious. It's something that you would do subconsciously. It's something that happens occurring. I just don't believe that I should personally be chasing it. And the conversation at the time became very cantankerous. And then so that's kind of had a ripple effect where every following conversation about that has been very cantankerous. When in reality, it's like we're talking about a way to make comics, and it's just
okay,
really
you
tedious.
just made my head hurt. All right, hold on.
Okay. Here we go.
I can't believe they're even arguing about this fucking shit. Right? So I'm going to give point to Stokes here, okay?
Oh, wow.
It's your book.
Okay.
You get to do what you want with it.
I agree.
Period. Right? However you want to pace your book, however you want to work those page turns, right? You know, I'm a big fan of the old Image Comics, Stokes. So I'll tell you this. When they formed Image Comics, the main reason was we want to do our books our way. And when you come aboard Image, we're never going to tell you how to do things. We may suggest things, and it's up to you to take those suggestions or not, but we're never going to tell you what to do, right? And so however you want to pace your book, man, yeah, 100% behind that, dude.
Okay, no, so that's what it was. And like I said, it's like...
Just pausing here real quick. I think in an alternate dimension, you and Larry would be friends.
That alternate dimension where he sucks my dick, yes, me and Larry would be friends.
You mean they're not friends?
We're not friends.
Larry's not your biggest fan?
He's my biggest fan for sure. I'm shocked he's not here. He's probably taking a nap, you know. It's probably bingo at the old folks' home. That's the only reason why he's not in here.
Or appealing a ban at a convention.
All right, let's head back into this. We're about to skip ahead a little bit, just so we can make sure we get to everything.
It's not our first rodeo. That's why you intrigued me as a, you say you're not new, and that's fair enough. You've done 3, right?
Well, I didn't say I wasn't new, to be clear. I was just saying that it's arbitrary to put these kind of things on people. And like the idea that the difference in the way that our conversation went, if I have 4 campaigns, then you'd be like, oh, you're not a rookie anymore. Like it's just arbitrary, it's just a little reductive.
I think after you pass 3, you starting to prove yourself, because I'll tell you, not many people even pass 1, buddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shouts out to me.
You know what I mean? And so you've done 3, so that's a credit, right? Some people don't even get that far.
Yeah, I agree.
I've watched
Some
it for
people
years.
can't fulfill one.
Yeah.
They make $100,000 and can't fulfill their campaign.
Oh,
So
we're
you're
gonna talk about that.
Dying.
So he mentions some people not being able to do more than 1. It might be a good time to take a look at what happened to Niobe number 2 that seemed to have gotten canceled before it hit the pledge. It hit their funding goal. Stokes, do you have anything to say about that?
This pack smoking good, boy. Only 600. What the fuck happened, Larry? What happened? $600? Go show me the campaign again.
Yeah, hold on. I got you.
Zoom real.
That's like 121 Little Caesars pizzas, so it's not too bad.
Damn, you're eating good on that.
37 backers, bro. So I want to illustrate here. I want to illustrate that even so, the defensive Blair would say is that, oh, 1, I canceled it and then get not funded, you know what I'm saying? Or 2, he'll say he learned from his mistakes. But I think this illustrates is that me, Chris, Trevor, Armin are shitting our first year and a half or year. We've all been doing it for a year and a half, right? A little bit.
Something like that.
We all shitting on Larry. We were shitting on him. What do you mean you laid the groundwork for what? What the fuck are you talking about? Larry laid down on the fucking landmine of canceling a campaign for us, I guess. Like, get off my dick, yo. Show my first campaign.
Yeah, so we saw campaign number 1. I actually have campaign number 2 queued up also. This is number 1 right here. We already took a look at. Campaign number 2 from Stokes looks like it was a success. This was actually when I first saw you, Stokes. It looks like you made a pretty big, sizable jump. That's about $1,300 more on your second campaign. So, damn, Stokes, what advice would you give to Larry to, maybe not have a canceled campaign?
He should take the dentures out before he sucks my dick. That's the advice I have for Larry. I mean, listen, Larry found the secret sauce. He got 20 different covers by professionals so that people buy them and then resell them on eBay. So he's got it. He don't need no advice from me. He knows what he's doing.
Larry's like, all my losses were lessons. He's like the DJ Khaled of the indie comic industry.
Yeah, I do think it's important to know that failing a campaign isn't like the end of the world, right? Things happen. You take your L's and then you turn them into W's, right? But to feel that you can then go and shit on other creators or talk down to them when your record isn't pristine, I think is a little crazy. I don't know how you may think about it. Armin, how do you feel about that?
You said it entirely right. It's just wild. What he was able to do in his first few years, what he's been able to do in his entire comic career. Let's throw it all together. It's honestly it's nothing to write home about. It's nothing noteworthy. He's definitely not given anything to the industry that we were talking about. As a visionary, as a thought leader, anything new. He's never done anything in his last 10 years. That of note. And then for him to come in and then kind of like step on new creators, it really just makes no sense. It just, it's nonsensical. It's almost, kind of just like laughable at this point. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
And real quick, Armin, if you want to plug your campaign that you have, Unreal Tournament number 1, say a little bit about that.
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to do something based on like fight video games, a comic, like, kind of having, the typical side scroller 2D fight games, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. I kind of just wanted to have fun with these new characters, and I really just wanted to come up with like a bunch of characters and weapons and designs. And then this was that, and this was like one of the first comics that I read in, so I was pretty excited about it. It's just that I never got around to actually releasing it, so it was like I needed one for the end of the year, and this was the one. I had to complete the gauntlet of 12 in 1 year, and this was the 12th one, ready to go.
I mean, super impressive, man. 12 campaigns in 1 year. Just fulfilling all of that is crazy. So definitely props to you, man. You obviously have stuff to tell people and stuff, have something for people to learn from. Special Agent Julio, hop in here. What do you got to say?
Yeah, I think he's already committed the two worst sins possible. Like, you're unlikable and a hypocrite in this regard. So like you can no longer recover after this.
Damn. Six-figure Shand, you're probably looking at these numbers, and compared to your numbers, they're definitely small potatoes. But you're still in here talking to us. How does these comments make you feel?
Well, here's the thing. To me, having a campaign that didn't fund, to me, in this conversation is not relevant. The idea that anyone at any level would gatekeep how someone markets themselves, that I don't agree with. No matter what your level of success is, no matter how long you've been doing it, I don't see how you could, if another man isn't personally insulting you and you begin to engage with him because you don't like his tone, because you don't like how he's presenting himself, because you don't like what you feel is an unearned ego, why does it matter? I don't see the comics industry that way. I don't see this as an industry where everyone has to go through loops to prove themselves, And yeah, I mean, as far as, I definitely don't want anyone who sees this to look at it as, looking down on people who have had a failed campaign. A lot of people have failed campaigns. It's never happened to me, right? Like it's never happened to me. And it never will. But for those that it does happen to, it's okay, right? It's I don't want people to look at this as a, downer on those who didn't succeed on their first, second, third try. Everyone can see this as a learning thing. I just don't think that anyone, no matter if you fail or succeed, should be gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is haram.
Very well said, Mr. Pat Shand. And I agree with you. We're not here to gatekeep people ourselves or put down people for having a failed campaign. Just more to illustrate just that, nobody should be talking shit to anybody. We should be trying to, bring each other up and raise the entire community, and trying to make everybody do better and hopefully fatten all of our pockets. Stokes, you want to hop in?
Let me just say, let me say this exactly. It's not messing up. It's not having a failed campaign. But if you're going to talk shit about other creators and say barely, you're going to hear him say, I barely funded, even though I haven't had a campaign under 130% funded. You better be willing to take that criticism. You know what I'm saying? And y'all see why I played it.
All right, we'll head back into this.
Don't worry, that's fucking coming, man. So I want to go back to Tyler, right? We got all sidetracked here, but you were on that stream. You guys seemed to me like had a pretty pleasant conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I because I remember watching it and going, "Where's the debate part come in?" And I never saw it, and that was fine. And I thought, okay, they did well, right? And then Tyler said he tried to join something called.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about this. I want to know what's going on.
Let's make it quick, because that's really not why I'm.
Well, it is why you're here though, because you have an ego, and I need to know why. Like, why you think you're king shit in this community?
So Tyler, why do you think you're king shit?
because I've been around the block. I put in my time and my dues, and my numbers
So
reflect
if I was here for 8 years, then I'm allowed to be. I mean, like I said,
if you
it's
put in the
arbitrary.
time, I'd give you a little bit more respect. Yeah, dude, that's exactly right.
You don't have. I mean, like, yeah, you don't have to respect me. That's 100% fine.
I don't
And then,
respect guys that come in here and think they know it all and throw around their
That's
fucking
not what
weight
I
like
said.
they're some sort of gangster
I
rapper.
never throw around weight, sir.
Dude, you want me to
posted-
bring
Yo,
Oh, oh.
yo. This is he's yo. Homie's talking way too crazy online right now. If we're being completely honest, he's saying some shit that is kind of coded in a certain way. I don't know if you want to react to that and say something about that, Stokes.
We know how that sounds. Let's leave it at that. If you know, you know. And no, again, it's kind of him projecting, kind of telling himself, because if you look at how I was speaking politely, and we're gonna see Gangster in a second. Go ahead and play it.
up the let's bring
You
him up.
posted your Kickstarter numbers, and you talking about
Yeah,
throwing weight.
because you can't
never
prove
threw
anything to
around
me.
weight.
You're like, what are your credentials? And I'm fucking showing them to you.
That's not throwing around weight.
Right? Seeing
not
is
throwing around
believing,
weight.
my friend.
That's not throwing around weight. Like I don't really do that. I don't really like. All I said
Really,
was,
you don't do that. Let's scroll through your Twitter and find out how much you don't do.
Oh, Dad.
Guys, let's try and keep this productive. Okay.
I mean, I just don't
try it.
have.
Yeah, he's
any
under.
energy.
He's being fried right now. You know how it works around here.
Stop.
I'm just saying the same thing I say every time. Let's just keep this productive.
No, it's fine. I have no interest in talking about the situation with Tyler. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. He's a friend of this channel, and what you did was fucking a bitch move, dude.
Ooh. I mean,
Yeah.
look.
So we're gonna talk about Tyler
Alright,
tried to
man.
get into a fucking stream with this guy, and this guy said
not what
no.
happened. It wasn't a stream.
It was a fucking
wasn't a stream.
space. It was an audio thing. Whatever the fuck it was, dude.
You're a rookie to Twitter, apparently. How long you been on
yeah,
Twitter?
yeah. No one uses that shit but you, bud. All right.
Nobody uses Twitter but me.
Damn, it's getting heated. Pat, do you want to hop in real quick? Mr. Pat Shand.
I don't get it. He's the conversation I thought was being productive. I remember this moment too when I watched live because Stokes is a friend and I don't know this gentleman. And it seemed to seamlessly go from a productive conversation to ad hominem. I just don't get being a grown man and looking at how another man handles their business and markets themselves and thinking, not like that. Like, bro, that's a different guy.
No, you're spitting, Pat. You're spitting. Anybody else want to hop in and have anything to say, or should I keep it going?
Wait, hold on, wait.
Well,
just one more bit. One more bit. There's marketing that I find to be cringe. There's people who market in a way that I think is disingenuous, but I don't understand having to have an issue with the person themselves and being so heated about it. I mentioned before that I don't like marketing that is self-deprecating, because that isn't successful. That is, I see writers do it a lot. And when they self-deprecate themselves, that's at the expense of the entire team. It makes the entire book look less interesting to the customers. But why would I be angry about that? I look and I feel bad for the person, but to be actually heated about it and to use this terminology and to just have so much venom in your voice, I don't get why he's mad is what it is. And that, from what I remember, that isn't even discussed in the stream. I don't get an understanding of why he feels slighted as a veteran, that you're talking this way, Stokes, as what he perceives as a rookie. I don't get why that's worth being angry about. It seems at best something to just not agree with, and at worst totally innocuous. I really don't get it.
can I hop in?
Yeah. Who was that? Julio?
Yeah, real quick. Like, Aside from the fact that he like turned into Clint Eastwood from Gran Torino for no reason, but aside from that, like his whole like the whole point of that outburst was like, yeah, you need to raise $604 exactly, or else you can't have an opinion. Like that's literally the entire point of this fucking outburst.
Damn, that's crazy. Armin, you want to hop in?
I just want to say that when Stokes first told me about this, I could not believe the words he was being called, there's nothing in my, like, I could not believe when he said gangster. And then here I just heard gangster rapper. And I was like, this is, I'm still just shocked. I'm just blown away. And, to call, to use that in this scenario, to call somebody that, it's just wild, man. It's just wild.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, this is where the stream starts to get really spicy. So we're gonna let's let it run real quick. But Trevor, before we do, I want to know if you want to hop in and if you have anything to add.
Keeping it short and sweet. Homeboy is insecure as hell, and he saw Stokes and what he had to say as a threat. Clearly, he concerned himself with it probably far too much, considering his obsession with Stokes online and everything that Stokes says and does. So, I think that it's actually, if anything, more of a sign that Ant, you should keep doing what you're doing, man. Like,
wait, hold on. I have one more thing too. And what's funny? I feel like in 2016, I wrote and published 4 Marvel novels, and on the back of them, they credited me as veteran writer Pat Shand. And I was talking to someone who was one of my OGs, someone who had published at IDW, where I got my first gig, years before I would be published. And I was laughing to him. I said, look what they said, dude, And he said, you are. You've been doing this for 5 years. You are. And I didn't agree, but that's what's seen as veteran in comics, someone who's been doing it even for less than a decade now, I guess, but now I've been doing it over a decade, and I feel like a vet. I feel like a G. I feel very beautiful and handsome too, you guys. But with Stokes, right? The whole crux of this conversation, every time I see it replayed, every time I see this really dove back into, because I saw he did a reaction to your first stream. I watched the first stream. And the tenor of the conversation that he had was as if you are someone who disrespects vets as a whole. I have never felt disrespected to you, but by you. If I felt disrespected to you, I wouldn't, 1, hang out with you in person, 2, talk to you online at all. I feel that you don't have to disrespect the new guard to respect the old guard. I feel like a vet. Richard is a vet. You've never disrespected me. I've said things that you disagree with, that I've talked to you about and given you my perspective, and you've shifted your perspective based on that, based on my years of knowledge and just being so consistently amazing at what I do for so many years, right? Bro, I really don't get it. You are not someone who I would say at whole cloth disrespects vets. That's ludicrous to me.
Yeah, I agree. Stokes, you want to respond to that?
No, 100%. And part of that's really frustrating is if I respect your opinion, I'll listen to it. I don't care how long you've been in the space. And the way it works is that, like you talked about, who be in the space, Charlie, Richard, Pat. It's like it's an exchange of ideas. These guys not learn as much, granted, but there are things that they take away from us. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. And like I said, I was somebody really upset me because they were like, "Oh, you might go at Pat next." I'm like, "Yo, Pat's my big brother. Like, I talk to Pat like not every day, but just about, what I'm saying? Like, I see this man in person. He's flying out to meet me for my birthday, my 30th. So
let's go.
It's weird. And then like, you know what it is that people need their egos massaged. I'm not an ego massager. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. Like I'm gonna tell you how I feel. And people can't handle that. And yeah, I learn from creators all the time. And I think that's what's being lost. But considering who's saying it, I could give a shit less.
All right, let's head back into this video.
No one uses spaces but you.
Yeah, then they're missing out. It's a good promotional. It's a good promotional thing.
Yeah,
But
sure.
sure, sure.
So
And
Tyler
to be
tries to get in
clear-
on this conversation with
And
this
to
guy.
be clear, this is what I'm talking about when I say people are shitting on people that are innovators in the space.
You're not an
You are
innovator,
dumping on-
bud. Shut up.
Yes, I am. Oh, okay. All right. No, let's talk about this thing that happened 2 weeks ago that I don't even want to talk about.
I don't care what you want to talk about. You're here.
All right, man.
All right,
bro.
So Tyler tried to get on this talk with you, and you
On
wouldn't
Twitter
let him
Space.
on. Why?
Because he had a very antagonistic relationship with a lot of people on the space, and we were having a really relaxed conversation, and I did not want to ruin the tone of the space. Tyler is very like antagonistic, like or contrarian or whatever, and he just he had problems with a lot of the people in there. So I was just asking, yo, is it okay? Because that's how I run my platform.
And so he was nice enough to let you on his, but you couldn't give him the same courtesy.
No, I did. I do let him on the spaces. Like that's part of the reason why. Because the previous time he came on, he said something that was like a little inflammatory, and I was like, and then people are leaving the space because he's in there.
You called him problematic.
When did I like?
True or
I
not
said
true?
what I said. What he said was What he said was very. Now, and again, this is why I didn't want to talk about this because you're taking a private conversation. You're putting this information.
No, it's
out
not
there.
private. Tyler made it very public on a stream the other day, bud.
Oh, he made it on a stream. That's fine. He did that. I didn't do that. So I really don't. Like I said, I really don't have much interest in talking about that. If you think it's a bitch ass move, that is fine. I really don't care about.
The guy was nice enough to
have to
give you
say.
his platform, which is a lot bigger than yours, by the way, and
Okay.
showcase you.
Well, I'm new.
And
like
you shit
said.
in his face.
I mean, if that's how you see it, bro. Like I said, I really don't care much about that situation. Like I said, I'll work.
No, of
through it
course
with
you don't
Tyler.
care because you want to brush it behind you.
So, Pat Shand, I know you want to get in on this.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I was actually in the space where this discussion was had, and then later on, Tyler, right?
Correct.
Where Tyler was brought in, and I'll say this: I don't have to agree with everything everybody does. When we were having the conversation, it was about a different thing, and the idea was brought up about Tyler joining, and I said, "Yeah, bring him in." I don't give a fuck who it is. To me, come in any conversation. That's okay to me. I don't care if someone disagrees. I think that we're all grown enough to disagree as men. However, if someone in the space is uncomfortable and the host decides to wait, that's okay to me too. I don't understand being so emotional about this internet shit. This is not real life shit. Keeping someone out of a conversation for half an hour, and then at the end, Tyler came in, and Stokes, I remember he called you a bitch, and I remember I was like, I said something to the effect of, "You're not talking about me, right?" Because I was good with anyone coming in the conversation, and you and him, to my memory, had it out, and then it was fine. I really don't understand a third party being emotional about this. It's like, I really do not get the core issue here. Oh yeah, should I turn the shit around? That's in the comment. Who? I don't know, bro.
I don't know who this Tyler individual is, actually. I've got a bit of short-term amnesia, but essentially what Pat said is we're gonna run our platforms how we want. Our Twitter Spaces and this platform we have here is going to be inclusive to everybody. And if anybody is saying things that are a little dicey, they may not be able to get on. And what I'll address specifically what Larry is saying is he's warning me that, oh, you're being too antagonistic, you're doing this, you're doing that. It might push on people the wrong way. And then I believe the incident he's referring to is probably that. It's probably somebody who rubbed people the wrong way and then weren't allowed onto a platform. if I had to guess.
Man, I don't understand because, like I said, being in the conversation and my perspective being bring him in, I still don't understand a third party who would agree with me there being upset about it. It's internet shit. It's an internet conversation. Who gives a fuck? It's such a minor. It's a minor conflict. I really don't get it. I would get the person who isn't included being upset, but a third party who is uninvolved, bruh, that's unreal to me.
Yeah, and that's the point that needs emphasis. Like, it has nothing to do with Larry. It was between Stokes and Tyler. And I guess that was the whole reason why he felt the need to bring Stokes on, or one of the reasons. And yeah, it had nothing to do with him. And they supposedly squashed the beef during the conversation.
That's what I
think
thought.
I guess this might lead to a tangential point about people maybe being a little fake in the industry, or maybe not in the industry, but on the indie comics Twitter space, and people maybe putting on a certain face, but talking behind people's backs and talking shit when the other person isn't there, and it seems to somehow continue to get back to the person that's being talked shit about. So I'm curious what everybody else has to think about that. We can start with you, Trevor. How you feel about maybe people aren't as genuine as they seem.
I mean, I don't think there's really a place for it. Unfortunately, that's commonality. But I'm not until recently have I really engaged with people in the community. I'm pretty fresh to the spaces and to that side of things. So a lot of people I either only knew tangentially or would maybe see something in passing. But general rule of thumb is that there's just no place for it. You know what I mean? Just be genuine with people. Don't leave people guessing. And if somebody is offended by you being polite and genuine, then that's on them. You know what I mean? Sure, is it your imperative to maybe communicate something a certain way? If you want to keep it, the hospitable situation, of course. But at the end of the day, there's absolutely no reason to not be upfront with people. You know what I mean? I think that's some childish shit.
Well said. Armin, you have anything to add?
I don't. I would say that I was actually, not in this space. I've actually been in spaces where for reasons like Stokes was, was very fair in his spaces, I would say. But, I understand that if people don't want somebody else on because of whatever their background or whatever they've said in the past, it makes people uncomfortable, and I'm fine with it. It doesn't really, even if they're my friends, I'm like, all right, I understand it. And to some extent, Tyler, I think he does get heated a lot in the moment, and I've seen this in the past. It's just kind of his personality. I personally think he's a good guy. I'm friends with him, but again, it didn't really affect how I view each of them when this situation happened. So for the fact that Larry kept bringing this up as like a point that he was trying to say was against you, it doesn't make any sense to me. So
absolutely. All right, we're gonna head back into this video.
No, this is not the time. I don't want to talk about it publicly. You could have talked to me about this offline. I would have had a conversation with you about it. I don't want to talk about it publicly, bro. It's really not that big of a deal. I apologize.
Well, you said it publicly. Well, I hope so.
I didn't say it publicly. I said nothing about it publicly. I told you
space,
I was like,
right, where you're doing this.
I did not mean to piss you off. I didn't think it would piss you off so much. But like, as far as like the bitch ass stuff, bro, let's just relax, man. Just take it easy.
Now what is spaces for the people that don't know?
For those who don't know how Twitter works, a Twitter space is basically not unlike this. Like, you just get a bunch of people together. It's like a voice chat, and people do use them, by the way.
Okay.
It's an audio thing. It's
all right.
I know a little bit about it. I mean,
you
guys know me. I try to avoid Twitter.
I wasn't trying to be rude to you.
Too much of a mess over on Twitter. I tend to avoid that space.
All right, I think we should go to the tweets here. I think that's what we should do. Let's find out why this all started to begin with.
I hope you're pulling up the right tweets, bro.
Well, you just hold on now.
All right.
Hey, if it's the wrong ones, just let them know. You know what I'm saying?
All right, before we continue, I know Pat wanted to hop in real quick.
About this shit before, I just wanted to say, like, to me, I don't. The whole conversation between Stokes and Tyler in the space. If Tyler left the conversation mad, that's okay. If Stokes left the conversation not liking Tyler, that's okay. I don't get why it would come up here. Maybe they're very close friends. Maybe that's why. But no, I mean, from my perspective, I didn't see it as anyone being a rat on Twitter or being negative on Twitter or anything. I wasn't left with any negative impression of Tyler. I don't know anything about that. Having been in the conversation, the shit seemed to diffuse. I remember it changing topics. I mean, I don't get it. But again, I've been in conversations where, it gets heated and then the topic changes. And then later on, I'll stew a little bit and I'll think, you know what? Fuck that motherfucker, So maybe that happened. I don't know. But yeah, just weird that it would come up here. I don't get why. I don't get it.
Absolutely, I agree. Trevor, if you want to hop in real quick.
The wild thing to me is that, the only reason I am here, for example, is because my first interaction with Stokes was disagreeing about page turns. And then what happened was we're adults and now here I am. Like, that's it. The insane thing to me is that homeboy is however old he is, his buddy's like coughing out a lung on stream, not realizing that he should probably mute himself, and he's got a foot in the grave. And yet, like, he's being schooled on somewhat somewhat standard social ethics by someone who is 20 years younger than him. Like, that's insane. It is absolutely bonkers to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to agree with every take from everybody on this panel to know that it comes from a genuine place for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. As long as, like, none of y'all are like doing some insane shit to women or children, I think we're going to be okay.
Absolutely. All right, we're definitely running a little over what we were expecting, but the stream is really jumping. So let's keep listening to this video, and it's continues to get spicy, everybody. So
I'm sure he'll be receptive to that information. Yeah.
I just gotta scroll. There was a lot here, Stokes. I gotta scroll down. It takes a lot of energy.
Then don't do it.
Oh, here we go. Where the hell? Blah, blah, blah.
That was a reaction.
I think maybe that's good enough.
So it's not even the original tweet.
This is where I first chimed in, bud.
Right. But
we
again,
we can go back a little. Okay, well, say what you
I'm just trying to explain the context. Is it okay if I explain the context?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
This is a reaction to a thread that was a reaction to a thread that was a quote tweet from a different thread. So and this is also part of the problem, is that this was a general tweet, again, reacting to that thread that a lot of people didn't see, a lot of the comments that people didn't see. People are insulting me. People are being super condescending. And then, so this is the energy that you're getting. So, I mean, it's fine if people don't like it. Like I said, I really don't care that much. But I just wanted to put that out there and give the right context.
A little while ago, I made a post about marketing that got.
What I said. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go through it, bud. A little while ago, I made a post about marketing that got a lot of attention and bothered some people. Now, we talked about this, right? I brought this up a little earlier, right? A little bit. I lost some followers, some backers, and things got really personal. I don't understand, first of all, how, again, a page turn situation gets to this point.
That's not what it was about.
Okay, so what was this about?
I was just telling you.
Well, you can
I made a thread.
I mean, elaborate a little bit.
I'm going to answer your question. I made a thread about marketing. I made a quote retweet about the thread. And then I made another thread. And then that's really what this is about. That's what this is about. This is not about the page
I understand this is about the marketing thread. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a list of this is great. I'm going to make a list of things I've learned from that thread. Number one, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Here's first of all, here's the problem with this, is that if you can't learn, even if you disagree with someone, especially someone that does have the knowledge of, say, Tyler does of marketing. I know what he does for a living, man. All right. Tyler Carpenter. He fucking markets books at a book publishing company for Mormons. That's what he does.
Tyler wasn't a part of that conversation.
No, I know, but Tyler's a guy that talks a lot about marketing. I'm sure there was lots of other guys in there that were probably giving you some fair and decent points, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, this is supposed to be like a joke, like not a joke, but I was trying to be funny, really, with the absolutely nothing thing. But
it doesn't come across that way, right?
Yeah, so, it was a lot of people being condescending, like I said.
Mr. Pat Shand, what do you
hey, bro. Yeah, it does. It fucking does. It's funny. It came across as funny when I read it. It was funny. That's the thing that I experienced too. I'll post, and no matter what I say, people think I'm serious. No matter how fucking obvious it is that I'm joking, they take it as serious. Recently, I posted a list of Kickstarter advice. Halfway through, it became Kodak Black lyrics. Obviously a fucking joke. And people took this shit seriously. It's just uncharitable, I think. And I don't comprehend it. Things can be funny. Things that you disagree with can be funny. I mean, bro, not to get dicey, but there was a thing trending yesterday that everyone was talking about. So-and-so got owned. However, the entire shit was funny. The first tweet was funny. The response everybody loved was funny. The response to the response was fucking funny. Okay? Things that you don't agree with can be funny. If you don't think that Stokes is right, it doesn't mean it's not funny. I thought this shit was funny.
And to build off of that just a little bit without getting too much into specifics, I mean, it's an online persona, right? And people are playing to the algorithms and trying to get as much exposure as possible too. But yeah, I agree. It was funny. So, Stokes, do you want to hop in real quick?
Honestly, that's me being nice. Like the online persona is me being nice. Like if I really acted how I wanted to act, I'd be kicked off Twitter. That's it.
Damn. All right, let's head back into this. Let's try and get through a little bit more. Might have to skip ahead a little bit just so we can fit everything in.
No,
I don't handle condescension well from anybody, frankly. So like I'm being a bit facetious when I say I didn't learn anything. But the reality was the way that the thread worked out, we weren't even really talking about the thread. People were talking around the thread. People were talking about adjacent to the thread, but nobody's actually talking about the topic. So yeah, there are some people in there, and like even if they know some things, like today, it's like, am I supposed to just like do exactly what you're saying? I'm supposed to be hypnotized because somebody's been doing something longer? Like,
no,
I don't
but
know.
it's like if you're the new wrestler in the locker room, usually what you do is you keep your mouth shut, you keep your ears open, and you fucking learn.
Or else what?
It's not or else. It's just a good idea to do.
And listen, the way that you were talking to me in that thread and the way that you're talking to me now, am I supposed to be receptive to what you're saying to me?
You should be learning. This is a little bit of tough love, yeah.
No, but like, what am I supposed? Yeah, I mean, one, you're assuming that I don't already know whatever you could have offered to talk to me about.
Well, one of the things is that I don't think you should be on here as a guy who's barely getting funded, going around acting
barely
like
getting funded.
Yeah, barely getting funded.
Barely getting funded. I thought I hit 130% of my goal.
That's barely getting funded.
What were you doing in your first 2 years? How were you?
Would you love to see? I can show you my growth.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Fuck, hey.
Your first 2 years of this series, what you?
Yeah, a lot less than that.
I see you have my campaign up as well.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be like, I got you. Like, oh, look at this.
No, we were going to take a look at some of the artwork you were offering, what kind of story you're giving. We were going to look at your numbers. Yeah, man. We're gonna do it all.
But yeah, like if you like I said, if you're condescending, we had conversation we had today, if you had said, hey man, I think like you're going a little bit too far, I think you're being too hostile. I would have provided the previous context.
You would have given me some fucking.
I would have provided the previous context from that conversation and said, this is what people are saying to me, because a lot of people like you were talking to me crazy. Don't insulting me, being condescending, like I said, I don't like, and that's why they got what they got.
I think everything you post is
being in the space longer does not allow you to talk down to me. especially because you don't know who.
You know, we
also,
police ourselves here. You understand that, right?
No, and you could have policed it privately. You could have said something to me privately. You could have said, I'm a friend of Tyler. This is that. Is that. You didn't come from what it seemed like a place of concern. You seem like you came from a place of
no,
like
I came from a place of I'm watching this new guy just come in and think he's fucking king shit in our territory.
I don't think I'm king shit. Actually, I never said anything like that. Like that's the thing. There's so much projection. There's so much projection going on.
I think your words and your own tweets sort of speak for themselves.
Like what? Like what did I say?
Well, no, let's go back to it.
Yeah. Let's see.
All right. So you learn absolutely nothing. So I see that and I go, man, there's always something to learn, no matter what it is.
As I explained,
doesn't come across that way, bud.
Well, I gave you the context because you asked.
Yeah, I know. But
before you started there,
you're wondering why I come in with an attitude against you. Then this is one of the first fucking things I see.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, it's such an insult your sensibilities. So could I make this tweet in 5 years from now? Like, would that be an okay thing to tweet?
Maybe.
Is it relative to your individual?
Well, I gotta weigh you on the scale here first.
Okay.
This is getting cute.
So I said here, I need to know who you are, dude. All I hear lately is Stokes this and Stokes that. Who in the fuck are you? I mean, seriously though, who in the fuck are you, right?
That's a Stokes W though. The fact that he hears Stokes, all he hears is Stokes. That's a Stokes dub. That's a huge Stokes dub.
It's effective marketing.
Absolutely.
Just one more thing. I mean, I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but you know, as someone who identifies as a vet, my pronouns are veteran. I've never thought of comics as my territory. There was a time when the kid was writing 7 comics for Zenescope a month, editing every other one of them, running the entire ship with the boys Ralph Tedesco and Joe Brescia. I never thought, oh, this is my territory. There was a time, the time is right now, when I'm making multiple people's salaries through my Kickstarter campaigns. I still don't think that crowdfunding is my territory. I don't think comics is my territory. I don't think indie comics is my territory. I don't even comprehend seeing it that way. I don't comprehend seeing someone as the new kid on the block who has to earn their stripes. And if you do see it that way, cool. I really don't get it. And that's why this stream kind of bothered me when I saw it, because Stokes came on and I embraced him as a person because I thought he was funny. I thought he was brazen. I thought he was interesting. I liked that. And also through Stokes, I met a different vet. I didn't know Richard before, and now I know another great artist whose work I wasn't familiar with, which now I'm going to follow now, right? And that's also interesting and fun to me. I don't get why you have to see someone who just has fewer credits than you as someone who has to prove themselves. No one has to prove anything to me. If someone's first campaign is a $100,000 campaign, like my shit. Does that prove themselves? Is that enough? Does that solidify them? Or do they need to work consistently for years? I don't get what the criteria is. I don't get the mindset at all.
And let me say one thing and this is really what is frustrating when people talk bad about streams, because Larry's not the only person. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, they talk about the viewership in the stream, they talk about nobody uses it, but the community that we have built, like, you know what I'm saying, like with Ant, with Christopher, like we met up in Baltimore with people. I think you had known Armin already, but when we do this meetup in Baltimore next year, it's going to be like maybe 8 or 10 people that we met through the spaces. We have built a community. That community is on YouTube. For our second stream to have 14 people watching 2 hours in is incredible. And so it really does. It is kind of like it is hating to say these disparaging things. And like I said, motherfuckers was not doing this in their first year. Not a lot of people had a start as good as the people on this panel, and let's be honest, particularly me.
Absolutely. I mean, well, this community actually. So I met Stokes because he was doing spaces with Armin and Keeping It Geekly Cody, and you know the community is just growing, and you know as everyone starts to get in and share their voices, share their experiences, and share their audiences with each other, we all sort of connect. And somebody mentioned it on the stream that eventually all the indie comics people start to cross over and you meet everybody. And you know, it seems to be true. Eventually, like we all sort of have connections here and there. I mean, I met Pat at a comic book convention. You know, we both are from Long Island, and I think I met him the first time at CradleCon. So you know, there's multiple ways to connect and multiple ways to grow and link with people. And it's a good thing that our community has been so accepting and you know, growing in that sort of way. I don't know if Trevor wants to get in or Armin say something.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm still pretty fresh to this whole thing, but for what it's worth, my tiny well at the time was a pretty malnourished Twitter. You know, I think since I've jumped in on Spaces and like chatted with pretty much all of you at some point or other now, amongst others. I think my Twitter has like grown by like a solid 30-40% in like the last month and a half, which is, you know, is not a lot. Like it might be 70 followers, but you know, in a world where I think my Twitter was at like 250 or something like that or less, it just shows you like community is important, and you can get really, really valid, you know, advice from somebody who is approaching comics in a different direction. Like one of the guys that I've really appreciated talking to is like Richard Fairgray. Like he's been in it for a long time. Guy's very, very articulate. He will poke around into elements of the craft that not a lot of people would do. And if it weren't for those spaces, I wouldn't have met him. I obviously wouldn't have met any of the guys on this panel who, you know, I'm probably going to be getting incredibly incoherent with at Baltimore next year. So, you know, community building is really, I think, a priceless a priceless activity, tool, whatever you want to call it. And you know, God forbid, man, you make a couple friends along the way.
I mean, 100%. Without community, I wouldn't have met Special Agent Julio, who's Stokes' friend, and who's obviously an awesome guy. And I don't know if you want to hop in, Julio, about you know, just connecting with people and networking.
Oh yeah, I met Ann at a furry convention. It's not a comic convention, but it's still a convention.
Damn. I know Armin also has his own little community. I'm sorry, not little. He has his own community, growing community, and his own YouTube show. If you have anything to add, Armin.
Yeah, you know, we don't come here. You know, we talk about raising the community. Chris, you said that earlier. Instead of somebody like Larry who's trying to bring it down, right? Who's trying to you know, step on new creators and tear down like a upcoming Stokes here. You know, the opposite of that is the funnest part is actually building the community, part of comics. You know, how Stokes says marketing is a comic book making skill, community building, giving value back to the community and raising it, the indie community. That's a comic book making skill for sure as well. And part of that is not only networking, it's meeting people, making friends along the way. I've met, I want to say, a good majority of the indie people just alone this year, and I just started this year. And a lot of them are really nice. A lot of them, you know, one and done. I would say the only negative experience I've ever had was actually with Larry. So I just thought it was hilarious that when Stokes started, when he started coming after Stokes, you know, that's kind of when I was just like, well, this isn't right. You know, and because essentially what somebody like Larry is, right, he's essentially like a bully, and he's not even, you know, he has nothing, you know, to even offer that he's never offered anything over the last 10 years to the indie comic community. So in essence, when we think about community building, you know, that's like the best part. We're one of the best parts of comic book making. You know, we do this because outside life is hard. We want to come in here. We don't want to come in here to have beef. That's not what we try to do. We try to make comics. We try to have fun, and if you're Pat Chan, you try to, make, be uber successful without even trying. It's one of those things where, I think there's a lot that we can all do, and still, kind of learn and also be nice and give back to the community. So.
Absolutely. It's actually kind of crazy that we've seemed to dodge each other at conventions, Armin, because it sounds like we've been to literally probably like almost all the same ones, and I don't think we've met in person.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, you're from LI also too, Armin?
I live 15 minutes away from Pat on a night highway when there's no traffic.
Yo, he's got that memorized. Damn. So Special Agent Julio, you got something to add for me?
Yeah, I think like any type of community, whether it's you're pursuing it as a hobby or creatively, it should be like an ecosystem. So what you take out, you should put back in.
100%. That's very well said, man. It definitely, we want to be back in elementary school. I had a principal that said you want to be a bucket filler, not a bucket dipper, And Larry's dipping buckets, guys. We want to be filling buckets. We want to be adding to each other, and specifically the money bucket, because we all want to be making money here, and growing and being successful in the space. So once again, I appreciate everybody here in the chat. Also, all of our awesome guests that decided to join Stokes and I on this Thursday night to watch some beef and handle some beef, because it just goes to show you what good community building does for all of us, right? I'm sure it's difficult. If you've ever tried to stream, it's difficult to have more than one viewer watching you, and we have 17 people currently watching us. And so thanks everybody for joining in, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, chat. Everything helps with the algorithm. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers next year, so make sure you spread the word so the Super Comic Books Bros and the Super Comic Books family can get as big as possible. Let's hop back into this. We got a little bit more.
Just 3 words before we hop back
go
in.
ahead.
I just want to answer all the questions in the chat. 3 words: space royal beige, hyphenated.
Damn. That's in reaction to people asking what color his walls are.
The zesty ass room, guys.
Damn. So let's get back into this. We still got a little bit more. And it still continues to get heated. It's pretty crazy for somebody to invite someone on their platform just to talk so crazy to them. I could never imagine us doing that to somebody, Stokes.
We're gonna do it to Armin right now.
Brought in a couple of guys in the off air, and I said, I'm going to have this conversation with this guy Stokes, and they're like, who in the fuck is Stokes? I said, exactly.
That's what they said about you when I asked my friends about you.
Oh yeah, well you
yeah,
cooked them.
Yeah, I know Travis.
Why don't you go ask Travis about me and see what you get?
I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
I don't have much.
Me and Travis got a lot of history.
Travis Gibb?
Yes. Yeah, Travis Gibb.
I like
Travis Scott.
I like Travis Gibb.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Sounds cool.
Yeah,
Where's Stokes go?
it's great.
A lot of history, yeah. A lot of experience.
That's right. And no, it means I know a lot of people in this space too, though. But okay.
Not nobody I know, but continue.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, so they didn't know who the fuck you were. I don't know who the fuck you were. You don't know who the fuck I am. Then that's all great. So we got that established, right?
Absolutely.
And I said here, as far as I can tell, you're new, which you are. You can get funded, which you did, but not much beyond. So where does the expertise come from?
What is much beyond? Because what's more important than getting funded?
I can tell you if I
Trevor, you had something to add real quick.
It's just like the hypocrisy and like the contradiction is just rampant. Like homeboy goes, I don't know who you are, just to, like pointing out in his own thread, he's like, all I've been hearing is about this Stokes guy. Like, this guy is your number one fan, and he has the audacity to say he's never heard of you. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he obviously has heard of him. he knows a little bit about them. He knows that everybody's talking about Stokes. And once again, it's all about marketing and being able to get your stuff out there to the most eyes as possible, right? And using your platforms as effectively as you can with your followers and your community. And it just seems to be something that's going over their heads at the moment.
I just barely get funded. I'm in debt.
Barely get funded? Again, I didn't barely get funded. I got 133%.
Okay. Also, this is a good point. Also, he's making assumptions here about how you run your own business, Stokes. Because he said, and he's projecting, as we've been saying, like if he says if he barely funds, he's not making any money, right? What do you have to say about that, Stokes?
I think one is, of course, barely. He doesn't, Larry's not that smart of a guy. He doesn't understand relativity. You know what I'm saying? So his campaign goals are higher. So for him, $1,000 isn't a lot. But I'm laughing at Julio. but in reality, is I'm not barely getting funded. I'm at, like I said, my lowest campaign has been 130% funded. And then let's talk about Larry's strategy. Is what Larry does is he hires a bunch of pros who, again, so there's resale value. He got 12 covers, and we know how much covers cost from non-pros, so you can imagine that. So he kind of just exposed himself when he said, if I break even, I'm in debt. That tells you he's not getting a very big cut of the proceeds from his Kickstarter. Go ahead and pull his Kickstarter up, please. His big jump. The Niobe outbreak.
Okay, yeah, let me do that real quick. But I know Julio wants to hop in real quick and say something.
Yeah, he just he did the ancient technique, a hater hat trick, where he's now unlikable, he's a hypocrite, and he's pocket watching. So he's now hit the hat trick.
Damn. So this is the big jump that Larry is talking about that Stokes mentioned.
Let's look at it. So 30,000 Canadian is worth 3/4 of US. So it's really like, I think it's like even 2/3. So it's really like 22,000, let's say. And then Kickstarter is going to take its 10%. So that's 20,000. You know what I'm saying? Kickstarter and Visa. The shipping, he's shipping a lot of this stuff internationally because a lot of his audience is going to be in the United States. So that costs money. And then he's got 12 different covers by pros. So
this is some COVID propaganda. Sorry.
So
right, we're giving him props.
Also, just go back to the covers. Go back to the covers real quick. Like scroll down. Oh, these are some of the most the same. What do you give the same exact reference for all these artists? The covers look exactly the same. So yeah.
Do you want your children looking at these?
He's got 12 of these kind of covers. So that's where he's making his money. So go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, let me just give some props to the artist, though. We got Greg Bo Watson there. I definitely don't want the artist to see this and think anything negative about them. I'm definitely in this sphere. We call this sphere the titty sphere, The covers are collectible. They do sell. These are great artists. They work with Zenoscope. Some of them are great artists. Some of them work with Zenoscope. So shout out to them for sure. This conversation has no negative bearing on any of those artists.
Yeah, absolutely. The artists obviously doing their job, making great stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously a realm where there's money to be made. And, Pat Shand has made quite a bit of money off of his book Cheeky. There's people like Charlie that have made money off of his book Galarian, and my next book Control Z also sort of dances in that sphere a little bit. So it's definitely a strategy, and this is obviously not a knock on any artist or person that wants to venture and make whatever you want. Obviously, we're not here to gatekeep you from making your titty book. I mean, that's more power to you.
Definitely, yeah. Clothes off is fine, but I think we can all agree, time to get the mask off. It's over.
Yeah, exactly.
You made about 600 more than your initial goal, bud.
What was that max?
That's barely getting funded. That's sort of scraping
3,500. I made 4,600. I made like 11.
Your goal was 4,000. You made 4,600.
I don't think my goal was 4,000.
Well, something like that. Well, I got.
Oh no, something like that. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that you would want to.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you would want to make sure you state before you say barely got.
Okay,
funded.
even 1,000 over is barely getting funded to me.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Depending
it
on
is.
your goal. All right, so this must
200%.
be some of that expertise that I don't know about. I got to be in the Kickstarter space for 5 years to understand the numbers, I guess. Okay.
No one said that either.
You
though.
just-
Like,
you
That's
just
just
need to
kind of what
have-
he's saying, though.
You need to have some experience behind you to understand that when you get funded, that's just step
How
one.
much percent over funded is this?
So now you're throwing weight around.
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely. Right
Okay.
now.
Oh, okay. All right. Bit of hypocritical, but okay.
So tell me why.
Am I supposed to be bowled over by
No,
your?
you're
by your
supposed to
numbers?
explain to me where your expertise comes from.
Just paying attention to other people, paying attention to other creators. Like a lot of the information I give is like from other creators, just looking at the platform. Like Kickstarter is a very it's a great platform because you can just look at a campaign. Like you're like, oh, you should look at my campaign and
You
see how I
should.
did well. Like I can look at or I should ask you. I should like
No, you
beg
should.
you.
This is another good point to pause real quick. Whenever Stokes is giving advice to newer creators that come into the space, one of the first things he tells them is to go look at other campaigns and see what they're doing. So it's just something to underline and just to show that, you know, a lot of the attacks that Larry is making on Stokes are just not even correct, you know.
All
the
through these
information.
campaigns, and you should study what these people are doing.
That is what I do. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I can see why your campaign did well. Like it's got a bunch of covers. It's a well put together campaign. It's got the sex appeal. You've been doing this for 8 years. Like, yeah, I mean, what's the secret sauce here?
Secret sauce is picking the right talent, doing the right story, and having a
Okay.
character that catches the eye. To be honest with you, okay.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked.
I mean, a good guy to study is Brian Pulido. If you want to study the king of this, you study Brian Pulido, Lady Death.
He's probably like nicer.
Well, I can.
Mr. Pat Shand, would you like to hop in real quick?
I do. I want to say, for the first time in the stream, I will say that was correct. That's right. Strong character, picking the right talent is very important. Good story. That's right. Studying Brian Pulido is right. I actually met Brian Pulido in person for the first time at San Diego. Brian is someone who I would look at as a vet and gave him his props, as I think you would too, Stokes. He's the man. You gotta give credit where credit is due. This part is right. If the entire stream kept this energy, this not the degradation of the new, but the respect for the vets. If that was the thesis, boom, beautiful. That's it. That's it.
Right. He's right, but a lot of the information. The problem is the information is wrong necessarily. It's the way he's coming off and the way that he's shitting on other creators. So yeah, he's shouts out to that's no shit. It's like saying, oh yeah, you should really watch James Cameron if you want to make movies. Duh. Like, so that's not the issue. It's not the information. It's the delivery and the condescension that's coming with the so.
Right. It could have been the entire thing if that was the crux. If the crux was respect and look toward what came before to build yourself up, for sure. But that coming up now instead of being the thesis entirely is insane to me.
Special Agent Julio, what you got for me?
Yeah, I think the best way to honor a great like that would be to try and build on what they did and do something different, which I don't think Larry would really agree with, because it's against his entire thesis here that, you know, tradition is king.
Absolutely. Let's keep going. We still got a lot to get through. I mean, we're trying to keep it tight, but damn, these guys were beefing for a minute.
Get nicer. We'll see.
Okay. Okay.
You come across as a know-it-all. That's sort of the problem, right? That sort of irks me.
How do you come across?
Well, I come across as a seasoned vet.
Oh, okay. So the difference, we going back to the experience. All right, go ahead.
Why not?
I just think that again, it's just that's fine. But
And even then, I'm still learning every day, which is why when you said I learned nothing was weird.
Okay, cool. That I'm so glad that I clarified that point, or like 10 minutes ago. So, yeah, like I said, I just think that the idea I can make this exact post if I hopped in a time machine 5 years from now, and then people would have a problem with this ridiculous.
LOL. So getting funded isn't enough. No, that's right. It's not enough. Not to come across as an expert. No. Okay. You're barely learning. You're
I'm trying to figure out where I said I was an expert. A lot of projection going on.
No, dude, I've gone through all your other tweets, man. You come across like, and you said it yourself that you are arrogant, you're antagonistic.
Yes.
And you do that for a reason, right? You do that so you can gain attention on yourself, right?
Aren't you being antagonistic right now?
Yeah, but you know, we've been antagonistic for 8 fucking years. I'm the one that owns the gimmick.
Okay, back to the experience. All right. So you're gonna invalidate everything I say because of experience. Okay, fair enough.
So, LOL, getting funded isn't not enough. No, not to go around and pretend that you're an expert in the field. That's correct. You're still learning the ropes. You're still learning how this all works. Okay. When you start doing 5-figure campaigns, it's a little bit different.
Oh, okay. So it's about money now.
It's about money. It's about backers. It's about overall success. It's about, stats and figures that we can look.
I think this is a good place to take a little break. I know Armin just hit 5 figures with his first campaign. How do you feel about when now that you've hit the other side?
I honestly don't feel any different. And here's the fact I was talking about to some friends the other day. They're like, are you happy? Are you proud? Or like, this to me was something that I had planned 6 months ago, based on this campaign. I started working on it 6 months ago or something. So it was already in the work that I was already there. Like what I'm working on now, we won't see until next summer. So it's one of those things where, it's not even about, like, nothing changed when I hit the 5-figure, the 10K number. Maybe Pat started giving me the time of day, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he started answering my text messages. But besides that, I would say that, nothing else really changed. I'm still learning. It's not like I would not give respect or talk to people if they're under 10K. Like, that's something like whack that, Larry's trying to say that, I'm like just because I crossed 10K, like there's a world difference now between me and another creator. That's just not how it works. So that's just my experience. And yeah.
Yeah, and just to build on that, let's pass it over to Mr. Six Figure Shand, who also passed a huge barrier himself.
Let's go. I did. And what I wonder is this. I mean, I want everything to be all good. I want Stokes is my friend. I want Stokes to be respected. So Stokes is going to hit a 5-figure campaign next year. So I'm wondering if when Stokes hits that 5-figure campaign, will the beef be squashed on Larry's side? Is it over at that point? Is the respect earned? Who knows?
No, it's always going to be something. If it's 10K, it's going to be, I made 20K. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be something. They're going to invalidate whatever. I'm excited to see how they're going to invalidate these numbers we have in this stream right now, or whatever. It's always like, just like I say, I had 3 campaigns done. He said, "You're a rookie until you've done 3." And basically, you're a rookie. What he's going to keep moving the goalposts. We know what the fuck he's about.
Yeah.
I just want to throw in there that, one of the things that I really admire about Stokes is that he's actually a very good debater, or even like when he speaks with conviction and he backs it up. And people in the spaces have even come in and that he's been antagonizing against, and then they agree with this, that he's very good at speaking, and that's good because that means that people like Larry can't easily just run over us. But think about all the other people that maybe don't have such a strong voice as Stokes, and then they feel like Larry just runs over them, and that's something where we're trying to stop here, right? I think that's like a big point of this whole thing. So
yeah, definitely. Trevor, do you want to get in on this?
I don't know. It seems all irrelevant, like these metrics, these walls that he's trying to set up just seem convenient, you know, like Stoke was saying, it just seems like this is the type of guy that's going to move his goalposts in order to make some imaginary point. And at the end of the day, you know, like you have a, I don't know, like I've never heard about the guy before all this beef. I've never heard anybody of any merit like have anything particularly kind to say about the guy. Just sounds like a goof, you know. So at this end of the day, at this stage of the day, like the guy just sounds like bait for content. You know what I mean? Like there's just no other reason than to talk to the guy, because reason is clearly not ringing in his ears. So, you know, just do what you got to do with him.
And yeah, we're making some serious content right now. 16 people in the stream watching. And you know what? When he reacts to this and we react to the react, damn, we're about to have 30 homies up in here. Let's get back to the stream. We still got a little bit more to go, guys. Maybe we'll start to skip around a little bit.
Look at in a tangible manner. It's a business, right? You got to understand that comic books is a business, bud.
Okay, so am I supposed to learn from what you just said? Am I supposed to take away something from what you just said?
Yes.
That comics are a business? Is that supposed to be new information for me?
Yes.
Maintain your analytics. I mean, obviously, you don't care about numbers. You keep telling me you don't care about numbers, but you've got to care about analytics.
I didn't say I don't care about numbers, to be clear. I just think, again, we're doing all these arbitrary things that he's using to try to invalidate my point. So if I and again, I've only been doing it for a year and a half. So
right. So stop coming off of like you're a know-it-all, right? Just be a little bit more humble, my friend.
In my first year and a half, just like you did.
Be a little bit more humble. I wasn't acting like this when I came out of the fucking gate.
Okay, then that's something you can do. So yeah, all right. We might be talking in circles. We can just go through the thing.
This is honestly crazy. It seems like he was waiting to have the clout to talk down to other people. Like he just was getting shit on himself and then was waiting for the moment to start shitting on somebody else. And I mean, that's just crazy, man. I mean, does anyone get into this just to put down other people? Like, it's just really crazy to me that this is his thought process. Somebody that's apparently been doing this for so long and cares so much about the community, that was so hurt that you didn't let Tyler into your space, but this is how he's treating you. So it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, just one thing here. Just speaking of insulting other people, I just have to say this one more time. I just have a few more things to say. Salmon ass, flamingo ass, carnation ass room.
I was trying to say that I actually don't even have a color for you. You know what I'm saying, Patricio? Because I literally just took one bucket of red and one bucket of blue, and I mix it into that little mixer, with that roller, and then I kind of just eyed it out. I'm like, oh, that looks like a good color, and then I just
I mean, I like it. I like it.
People do. People like it.
It's raspberry ass room. Yeah.
I like the color, Armin. Don't let these guys talk smack to you, man. You're 5-figure Armin now. Don't let people talk shit to you.
That's right. You better believe that I had to convince the painter to paint this room. You know what I'm saying? He refused to. I was like, you better paint this room.
Yeah, let's just go through the thread. Well, you've heard of me, but I have no idea who you are. So that's a little bit of an ego there, right?
But look at what you just said to me, though. Right? Look what you said.
You're like, so you know who I am, but you're fucking nobody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
incorrect.
No, I would still believe that. I would still believe you're a nobody.
All right. I feel the same way about you, bud. Right?
Okay.
You're an absolute no.
I have an excuse. I won't be doing it for a year and a half.
No, you're.
I won't be doing it a year and a half. What about you?
Right. Yeah. Right. So be a little bit more fucking humble in the space, bud.
Humble me. Go ahead. Humble me. Let's
I've been humbling you since we started.
No, you have not, bro. I'll go off of here and make the same exact tweet. I will retweet.
Sure, you will.
I don't care because, and again, we were talking about numbers.
But it's not about how you walk away from it. It's how everyone else sees you walk away from this.
That's what you care about numbers. Then that's
absolutely. I care about numbers.
That's cool. That's 100% cool. I'm not really worried about numbers, especially having only, as you pointed out, done 3 campaigns.
Then you're not treating it like a business.
You know, that's so funny is that other people are saying I'm treating it too much like a business. It's almost like this thing is a subjective or something. I don't know. But yeah, the
Every
idea
opinion is
that I
subjective.
respect you because you have made a bunch of money on Kickstarters. I don't like. I really
Okay,
don't
well
care
that's
because
the
there are
wrong way
people-
of thinking. You should be
there-
looking
there
at
are
these
other
guys
people-
going, shit, they've
there
done
are
something
other
I wish
people
I
that are
could do.
making
Because I
more-
doubt you'll never get to
There
where
are
I'm at.
and people making more money on Kickstarter than you are.
Right,
who
and
are
I
giving
pay
you
attention to
cosign.
them. And
So-
when they
so
give
do I
out
listen to
advice, I
them?
fucking listen.
Are
It
do I
does
listen
no
to
good
them
if
or
you guys talk over each other.
Mr. Pat Shand, you seem
I make
like a
more on
perfect person.
Kickstarter. This is a perfect time for me to chime in. I make more on Kickstarter in general. My genuine advice, and I'm not even going to make this spicy. I'm going to make this genuine advice. Stop giving a fuck about new people. You know, if you don't like how someone comes off, just concentrate on yourself. If you think that you're doing fine, then you're doing fine. Someone new coming into the sphere which you interpret as your domain, that's okay. Them marketing themselves in a specific way that you don't like, that doesn't mean that you have to be the warrior to fight against them. It's okay to just fucking chill. It's okay to be in your realm and be successful. Your realm isn't the entirety of comics. None of us own comics. Hi, baby. None of us own this domain. That is so weird to me. I don't know anyone who I would consider a vet who feels this way. One of my best, get your asshole out of here, yo. One of my best friends is Raven Gregory. He was one of the head honcho writers at Zenescope before me. Another of my best friends is Ralph Tedesco, who was the editor-in-chief and co-owned Zenescope. These are guys who are in the same field as Larry. They would never think this way. So my advice as someone who does make more in the sphere that we're talking about, in response to Larry saying that he would take advice from someone who makes more, is stop caring about this shit. And also, Stokes is a good guy. That's it. If you want to take advice, take that advice.
I'm a demon. This is why I wanted this here, because he can't disagree with Pat. I'm very excited to see Larry's response to this, because he's predictable. I don't know. He was in the first stream. He was like one of the first comments on the last stream. So yeah, somebody who's making more money than you, Larry, is telling you to change your ways, little bro. Go ahead and play the video.
Well, he didn't even let me finish my point.
I'm saying you guys both got to give and take here, man.
I'm gonna
You
finish
should
my
listen to
point.
every fucking guy
Okay,
that paved the road to make this possible for you. 100%.
You paved the road for me. Okay. So I have a friend who made $100,000 on a Kickstarter. He co-signed.
Let's go, son.
Should I listen to you or him? Because he made twice the amount of money that you did. If it's
Maybe
about the
you
numbers.
can take away something from both.
Now okay. So can you take some things away from me?
I could probably take away some things from the guy that made $100,000.
Let's go again.
I'd be interested in learning from him a little bit.
Okay.
He's calling you out, Pat. You got any more to add? He wants a lesson.
I mean, I do. I'm starting a second business. My first business was too successful to keep running on my own. Space Between Entertainment. Now I'm gonna do a business called What's Wrong with Your Kickstarter. I already have 3 clients that haven't even opened the fucking doors yet. 1, a highly successful Kickstarter creator. 1, a brand new Kickstarter creator. 3, a veteran among veterans making his first ever Kickstarter campaign. A name that anybody would consider one of the greats. Multiple different series, all creator-owned, all written and drawn by him, who anyone would consider one of the greatest bets of all time. Take my course. Let me help you. Okay? I would, bro, get out of here, Chi-Chi. I would love to. You know, in seriousness though, I do hope, I genuinely hope that if he is consistent in his ideology about listening to those who do make more, my advice is simple. Stop it.
Yo, Pat is too good at these videos, man. The master at work finds any chance to market himself, and very entertaining as well. We appreciate you, Six Figure Shan, hopping on the stream. Armin, did you want to hop in real quick?
I just wanna kind of round out this whole idea that, you know, when Larry throws his weight around, that I'm gonna only listen to somebody who's made 100K. All right, so generally speaking, you know, I added up all of his campaign numbers right now, and I will say that me and, you know, in my first year alone, I basically you know, whatever his past 10 years of experience, all of his campaigns, I basically tied him. You know what I'm saying? My first year alone. So it doesn't make any difference what he's saying about, like, and I honestly believe that even if Pat was there, he still wouldn't have listened to him. So it's kind of just like this idea that, you know, he doesn't really, you know, it's an issue of respect, but it's also an issue of, you know, it's only his way, and he has like a very you know, kind of small thinking you know, scenario. So
damn, that's crazy that everyone just little bro this dude like one after the other. Trevor, you got anything to add?
Honestly, I don't know if there's anything else I can say, man. Like, guy's kind of a joke. Off-brand mayo does not sell, and neither does he. So at the end of the day, he is where he is, and that's about as far as he's going to get, you know.
Well said. Let's hop back into this
Wait, hold
video.
on. Just,
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing really quick. If finances really do matter that much, and that is what it takes to establish someone's, if that's what it takes to establish someone's weight in the comics industry, just what I made this year was multiple times over what I made in any previous year. Next year is set to double it. Like, for example, this month alone, I spent on covers, interior art, and print jobs more than I've ever made in a previous year this month alone. And when it came down to it,
it didn't make a dent.
So does what I have to say matter now?
Yo, Pat Shand, WW stream guest, 6-figure Shand. Stokes, you got anything to add before I hop back in the video? All right.
Okay.
But not you.
Because, okay. Well, that's kind of contradictory a little bit, because.
Why? Are you the guy that made 100 grand?
No.
Then it's not contradictory. He's got
So
something
it's
you
all about the
don't.
money. Okay. All right.
All right.
It's a little contradictory, but that's what we're doing. It's cool.
In the Niobe Comics, search Niobe Comics on Google, and you'll see a very quick education. Or just go ask your boy Travis.
Do you have an inferiority complex?
What's that mean?
That means like you think you're like lesser than, and you have to like overcompensate.
No, I'm thinking I'm educating you.
Okay. No, I'm learning so much. Like the knowledge.
Did you go ahead and do that? Did you type in Niobe Comics on a Google and click around the images and stuff? Why not?
I really don't care about you.
Okay. Well, I mean, what I'm trying to tell you here, my point when I was tweeting all this to you is that I'm a guy who's been around the block and has some expertise. And if you wouldn't have looked, you would have seen that. You should have said at that point, okay, this guy's been around for a little bit. Maybe I should shut up and listen.
You're trying to bully me, and because I didn't accept your bullying, you're essentially mad. You're trying to throw your weight around, which is what you accused me of doing. And essentially, what you're saying is, if I had a campaign that had more than you had made, basically, I could.
So
treat
now
you
I'm
like
a bully. I'm in the schoolyard kicking you in the sand. Is that it?
I mean, that's not an unfair way to put it. I mean, you're antagonistic with two of your tweets. Again, these tweets were not to anybody in particular, and then you were very condescending, very rude, and now you're saying essentially,
yeah, I'm challenging you.
Absolutely, I'm fine with the challenge.
Because you came out on another tweet, didn't you, Chief? And you said, "I'm just done my Kickstarter, so come at me, bros. I'm ready." Right?
Absolutely.
So you were looking.
I mean,
for
that's
this.
not exactly what I said.
So guess what? It's landed in your lap now.
I'm terrified right now. Like, this guy I don't care about or respect, doesn't like especially again, if you had just kind of given the information that you're trying to give in a less condescending way.
I want to see the antagonistic Stokes.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, I don't really.
I want to go one-on-one with the bad boy of comics here.
Hey, yo,
that's a great moniker. Can
you like that? Yeah, no, go ahead and do that.
Damn. Or do I have to wait to use it for like a couple more years?
No,
can you give me like a timeline of when I'm allowed to do what based off my experience?
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years, and I can be the bad boy. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can start using it. If you're still around, and I don't know if you will be.
I believe I will be around.
I don't think you will. I
What's
had
gonna
a
happen?
look at your campaign. It looked
Mr. Shand.
Kind of zesty for a grown man to call another grown man a bad boy, you know? Larry with the W Riz.
Yeah, he's definitely risen up our boy Stokes. He's definitely, he's really interested in you, Stokes.
Man,
He's
Stokes,
really
you a bad boy.
Yo, you got a fan, you got a groupie, son.
I'm a baddie.
That's W
There you
Riz, dude.
Rich. Okay, let's start with the critique there. The art was bland.
Hey,
Your
I
story
said the
looks
same thing about your
bland.
campaign.
Okay, there's no flash. There's no substance. It's all very generic. You showed maybe like 2 pages on a campaign.
That's not true. That's not
Dude,
true.
I
Pull up
looked
the
at your
campaign.
first campaign. That's what was.
You talking about my very first campaign?
That's right. I
Ever?
thought, yeah, the one that you did a year and a half.
But okay, but that was, my campaign now has a bunch of art, and it looks better. So I learned vis-a-vis. I don't know everything.
No, it's clearly that you don't. Okay.
Yeah. Nah, I never claimed to know everything. But okay, all right. This is some crazy logic we're losing, but okay.
It's not crazy logic, dude. I'm trying to help you out in a little bit and saying maybe lay off on the fucking ego and listen a little bit
By
more.
bringing up a campaign I did a year and a half ago.
By bringing up your entire time in this sphere.
So the campaign I did a year and a half ago isn't as good as the campaign I did last month.
No, they look
I agree
about
with
the
you.
same. There's a little bit more in there, but they're pretty much the same.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just reveling in the information I'm getting. It's.
Well, if I was you, I'd be sitting there thinking, shit, this guy's done a little bit better than me. He's been around. He knows some people. Maybe I should actually take the time and listen to him. But no, you won't fucking do that. Why? Because again, your ego, right?
No, because you're like, I don't really respect you.
I don't respect you. I don't respect the new guy that comes into this space and thinks he's a fucking gangster. You know,
I never said I was a gangster.
Hold on.
Yo, he's getting out of hand, man. He's getting out of hand. Again, with the very coded language, it's insane. It's it's 2022, guys. We can't be doing this.
There's under no circumstance I would call Stokes a gangster. 1 and 2. There's under no circumstance I can think of that Larry would have called anybody else on this panel a gangster. That's all I'll say. You know.
Word. I agree. Stokes, you got anything to add?
Just let it play out, bro.
Let it play. All right.
I never insulted you. You said bitch ass. You called me. You said I did some bitch ass shit like 20 minutes ago.
You know,
I've never threatened anybody.
Hence,
to be
this
clear,
stuff is why I don't use Twitter, man.
to be clear, I never threatened anybody on Twitter. I've been amicable. I even came on this show.
Well, I mean, you called me Comics Gate, or you asked me if I was Comics Gate. That was a good.
Yeah, I
thing.
asked.
You know, Comics Gate really fucking doesn't like me, right?
No, that's why I just asked the question.
Mr.
This
Stokes.
bears the question: who the fuck likes Larry, bro? Who? Nobody. The people hosting the cons don't like Larry. The new creators don't like Larry. The old creators don't like Larry. Nobody fucking likes Larry. That is crazy.
Larry don't like Larry.
Oh my god. Go to this play. It's gonna be
Question, bro. Like, is asking questions bad? I'm
But it's just funny you came, sort of to that assumption, right?
No, I literally just asked. I ask whenever, like before I go on a stream or something. I'm sorry I offended you. Like, I didn't think that I would do these things that would offend you. Like, but I am genuinely sorry if me asking that again. Nothing, not trying to be antagonistic. Just literally just asking to do due diligence. But I mean, I get it.
What if I said I was though? What would you deny the show?
I would not. Yeah, I would not have come on the stream.
How come?
I don't associate with Comscape.
So you don't even want to debate them or challenge them on their views or speak up for your side?
I think not really. Like for me, because like how receptive are people to information is always
well,
important.
you don't seem to be.
To you.
That's right. To me.
And again, I don't respect you or
whether you respect me or not shouldn't validate, the information that I carry.
Well, Yeah, it should, because if I really respect you,
because I think Stephen Hawking's maybe an asshole doesn't mean he's not a smarter man than I am.
So let's like I said, if you had said, "Hey man, I think you're doing a bit too much. This seems a bit hostile," I would have said, "Hey, people are coming at me crazy, etc." We could have had a conversation that was more.
Then I would ask you, why are people coming at you crazy?
And I would have said that essentially they didn't like the post that I made.
And then I would ask, what posts are you making?
Okay, no, I don't need. I wasn't trying to go through the whole conversation, but essentially, I was saying that we would have gotten off on a lot better foot, and I would have been rushing.
No, what it would have done is lead me down further down.
All right, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. Skip to about 119.
Gone through the be in this fucking space. No idea how many fucking wars have happened on this channel. How many people we had to chase off. How many people we had to defend ourselves to. You have no fucking clue.
Whoa. I mean, bro, why? That hasn't happened to me at all. I've been doing this 11 years now. I haven't had any wars. I haven't had to chase anybody off. If someone doesn't like me, fuck them. I move on. What? I don't get how you have a war. It's comic books. It's either business, or if you're in the nerd shit, it's nerd shit. This sounds like nerd shit. I don't understand why you would have a war. What's the war? I really don't understand it. What's the war?
Yeah.
He's just like, yo, literally nobody likes me. Aren't I the most awesome guy ever? Literally everybody fucking hates me. And I do 12-hour streams.
Absolutely spot on, Special Agent Julio. All right, we're gonna keep letting the video play so we can get some. Let's see how long we can go without Larry saying something inflammatory for us.
He's a veteran man, seriously. War, dude.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Because all I had to do was make a Twitter account.
Welcome to comics.
Thank you. It's been very pleasant.
And then I told you I was going to do the show. I said, no, you need to make money on a how does this go now? Because I spelled this wrong. Okay, well, watch my show tonight and I'll talk about ego, which we are in comics. And when is too much, too much? Well, when you're brand new and you think you know it all, I think that's too much, too much.
I just have to say there's a certain way to approach things without letting things get out of hand, man. There's a way to talk to each other to get the point across without like attacking each other so much. But a lot of people don't do that just in general. But yeah, I think it's better for the brand if you try and do that.
So this
man.
word here,
you may turn off prospective audience if you get a little, if you get a little too overboard.
You want to go around and be antagonistic and pick fights with everyone. What do you think is going to be the result of that?
Didn't you pick a fight with me?
Stokes.
If I end up picking fights with everybody, I might end up like Larry, banned from a bunch of comic books. I got excited. I'm sorry. No, I mean basically Larry is like the ghost of Stokes' future, like, and he doesn't even realize it. Shit is insane.
Because you were looking for it.
I didn't. You keep saying I was looking for a fight. I said my campaign is over. So
read the rest of it.
Talk to me crazy at your own risk. That's what I said.
Okay, I'm here stepping over the line at my own risk.
Okay. But that's not the same thing as picking a fight. But
I think it is. I think you were looking for someone to come at you. I think that's exactly what you were looking for.
You're a mind reader.
Yeah, I am.
You're a mind reader. You can see alternate realities. You can see into the future. Okay.
I'm fucking great, right?
Oh, really?
All right. I said you haven't proven yourself. You also made a post that you were looking for fights. Now that your Kickstarter was done, and you just admitted that. Congrats. And here I am.
I didn't admit that.
I saw you on Tyler's stream. I don't like you or your inflated ego. And it's great. You don't know me because it makes this so much more fun. And I agree with that.
Okay. I mean, you said it. I would hope you would agree with it.
Damn, you show me your campaign and I still have an ego mission failed. Yes, you do. You're correct.
So what are we doing here? Like, it didn't work.
I don't expect it to work because I'm not trying to actually convince you of anything because I know you're too hard-headed to learn that. But I am trying to make a fool out of you in front of your fucking fans. Yeah.
All right.
All
I
right.
actually have a question about your fan base, though, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm Pete. I'm an independent artist, just to know where I'm coming from.
Hi,
I
Stokes,
I
you
want
wanna hop
to
in?
I want to notate. Look how Pete's talking to me right now, and pay attention to the nature of this conversation. Go ahead.
I've never published on Kickstarter. I self-published my own books 5 years ago, and then I stopped because I didn't like them, and I went back to reteach myself how to draw sequentials because that's what I felt I needed to do. And I do have a book coming out next year, and I wanted to say that to give you just a base of who I am, so you don't think I'm just some guy talking shit. Okay?
Okay.
Just to be fair. I'm listening now before, because the thing that caught me, the thing that I stuck with before, you said that there was a character that you portrayed online and with your books and things like that. Correct or not correct?
Yeah, I play it up a bit.
You play it up a bit, and that character
He
maybe
thinks he's a
little
pro wrestler.
Yeah, that's where I was getting at a little bit. So that character is kind of like a maybe a blurred image of what you are sometimes, maybe.
Yeah, I
Okay.
play it up.
Blurred.
Okay, fine. Now, because someone just asked a question about your fans, I don't know what I've never been on your Twitter, so I don't know what your follower count or anything is like there, what your fan base is like there. So my question is, what is your fan base like? And I have an idea, depending on it. I don't even the size of it, is what it is. But are they receptive to this? Is that like do they dig it, the character, and is this something they might be into? Because this also seems to
Are you asking, is he Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Basically, because here's the thing. You kind of had to have an idea that something like this was going to happen tonight, but you still came on, and for whatever reason, that's really none of my business. I'm just here. But your fans are here too, because I see them in the chat. I'm interacting with them in the chat. Does that help play up the persona and the marketing of the image of your label or your book, or what I mean?
I think so. I think it does. I think people it's two sides of every coin, right? So some people saw that and was like, "This is an amazing post. I laughed out loud. This was great." Some people were like, "This is too much. It's concerning. I'm concerned for you, whatever." So it's a 50-50. And I think when you look at sports, when you look at wrestling, when you look at music, like braggadociousness is a part of it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be. You know what I'm saying? It can be. Let me be clear. It can be. But you know what I'm saying? So that's part of it. Like I'm not big into wrestling, but yeah. So like a villain or whatever. Some people will see that and get energized. They'll fuck with it. So it's like I'm not going to deny it might turn some people off, but I also think that
it turns me off.
Can help.
But I was going to say,
not my audience. I don't give a shit.
But
Just the way he said that, he seemed really disappointed that he was turning him off, man.
My question is with that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, what was I about to say? No, but like some people like really fuck with it. Again, there's a lot of self-defeatist stuff going on Twitter. So to me, I'm just trying to combat that. If everybody on Twitter was on Congress Twitter was braggadocious and just arrogant, then I would be the guy who'd be like, "Hey man, let's all hang out, let's get along," right. Because that's what I think this space requires.
You do have a line,
but you don't do that, do you? You fucking tell people, you almost asking people to come pick a fight with you.
For like 2 minutes. Missed the point though. Missed the point.
Yeah, absolutely, totally missed the point.
Missed the point though.
We are also having a good discussion, and he literally derails it. Like we're literally having a nuanced discussion, and Larry just comes and takes a sledgehammer to that shit.
Bro, it's such a simple point too, in that you're being a disruptor in what you see as the accepted way of marketing. You see people marketing in this very sort of false, humble way, and you create this sort of brazen voice. If every voice was brazen, you would then stand out by being the guy who brings everyone together. I value a disruptor. I value disruption in method of making and selling comics, in marketing yourself. I think that's the kind of thing that challenges people and creates new ideas. Man, and plus, bro, it makes social media more interesting. That would have been an interesting day if you and him had just went back and forth on Twitter instead of getting emotional about it in this stream. Why did it have to come to this? It could have been just a fun, funny exchange. I don't get taking it seriously, bro.
Absolutely. We're gonna make another little jump, everybody.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Question for him in the chat. Indie Comics Network wants to know, do you think that the badass persona is more of a turnoff? Question mark. Honestly, I see it as pushing away more from you than drawing them to you.
I mean, it's possible. I don't really have anything to go off of. Like my follower count is going up, my network is getting bigger.
Is it because you think controversy is a good thing?
I mean, depend. What's controversy? Like, I think
right now you're controversial.
Making a thing, having a conversation and shaking up people's perceptions about certain things is good, right? Now, I wouldn't call that controversial. So yeah, like controversial as long as it's productive, sure. To this person's point, like I said, it really depends on the person. If you don't like the braggadocious thing, you're not going to like it. If that's what you like, if you're a fan of wrestling, you're a fan of rap music, you're a fan of professional athletes, it might be something you like. So whether or not it's more or less turning off people, I don't know. But the idea, like the fact is that nobody, I don't know about anybody in here has acknowledged it, or even out there is not acknowledging that it could work. Like if they're not acknowledging that you're hearing about, me, and we have never had a conversation. They're not acknowledging that, hey, this could be a thing that's working, essentially. And again, I talked to somebody.
It's not working in the right ways. You understand
you don't know that.
I do know that.
So I'm talking to, I don't really care. I'm talking to this guy.
All right, next time you say that,
I'm talking about this guy. Can I finish my point?
No.
I'm talking to this guy that I disagree with a lot. And we talking to him, and he was like, I'm like, yo, we always keep it respectful. It's all good, He was like, yeah. I tweet in the morning. I will get better at making comics today. He was like,
every fucking day you do that, and it drives me nuts.
Okay, so I can't be. Egotistical is better. Okay, all right. Let me say my motivate. Let me finish the story. And let me say my.
It's not a motivation thing. It's a fucking.
Okay, you don't know that.
It's a vanity thing.
No, it's not.
Absolutely, it is. That's what I'm charging you with.
So, he was like, "Yo, that really makes my day." Like sometimes, like when I see that. And it's like I said, I'm trying to inject the timeline with confidence or like motivation. Even if you just like, hey, I fucking hate that Stokes guy. I'm gonna get better at comics today. Regardless, I do that to motivate people. I do that to let people know that getting better isn't hard. Getting better incrementally isn't hard. You can read a comic book. You can draw a page, you can draw a panel, you can listen to a podcast, you can watch a comic book movie, you can do all these things to get better at making comic books. You can read something else, you can read a book. These are all things that you could do to get better, where that could help combat some of these negative feelings that we have about ourselves, like the imposter syndrome and stuff like that. If it's just like, yo, it's simple, you know what I'm saying? It's not that complicated. So for me, it's supposed to be a motivational thing, as if to say, hey, and I would love for that to pick up and other people start doing it and other people to be internalizing it and trying to get better at making comics.
It's you patting yourself on the back is what it is.
So here's the thing, though. You just told me I was too egotistical. Now I'm saying I'm trying to do something that is like trying to like motivate people and help the community. Your shit.
I don't believe your intentions.
So, okay, I don't care. I'm like, all right, like, but that's fine. But this is my problem with a lot of this perception stuff, because I'm sitting here telling a person that I'm doing this, like trying to help the community. They don't believe me. So
you think helping the community when we're talking about the perception like a of people, we're talking about how with a fake persona is helping the community by pretending you're a know-it-all. Antagonistic and picking fights is the way to help the community. Did I just fucking hear that right?
Nope, but I'm sure that's what you tried. I mean, that's what you want to hear. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop posting. I will get better at making comments, because again, I think it's helping people, even if it's one person.
It's not even what you say. You say I'm good at making comics, or I'm great at making.
That's a second. That was a second thing. Why
are you saying that for? You're not that great yet, bud.
I said good. I didn't say great.
You're not even that good.
We can agree to disagree on that one. Some people.
No, we're definitely going to disagree on that one.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know why you're being so hostile, but that's fine.
He hasn't even read any of your books. I'm like, where is he even getting these opinions from?
I have no idea. I'm just like honestly marveling in the W arguments I'm making. I was like, why are you being so hostile? Oh my God, what a dickhead. Go ahead.
I say I will get better at making comics today, again, to try to motivate people at the start of the day so people can.
No, I don't imagine you're going to stop, man. You're your biggest own fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like everybody should be, but that's fine. If somebody else is your biggest fan, who's going to believe in you besides yourself? But I just wanted to answer that question, like to be like, I don't know how we get that, but I would get better in the comments. I'm gonna think about you when I tweet every day, and
You
I hope
should.
it gets across your timeline.
You should study.
Yeah.
Vicious. No, we got
Sam's got something to say.
No, I'm gonna read the
I'd like
chat
to-
first because they've been waiting. Vic Inc.
Damn, he's not even nice to his own guest. Like,
I'm saying, bro. I'm saying, yo, Sam look like he got Stockholm syndrome, bro. Sam don't even look happy right now.
The one guy said, "Hey, Stokes," and he said, "Shut up, bitch."
Yeah, this,
Comment you got.
His ego.
this dude has the personality of an old lady.
Humbled.
Like, he's just an old.
Bro.
yeah, he does. He definitely does.
Calling. I'm the beast. I think he means best. I am the best because I work at it and I give props to my fans. That's from Vic King in the chat. Indie Comics Network says Max is high as fuck napping behind Mary. Is that what you're doing, Max? I don't even think he's fucking there, man.
He's walking the dog again.
Is he? All right. Indie Comics Network says the thing in our community is overrated and it's been played out. So he's talking about like the fake persona. I'm going to draw people in through controversy to sort of up myself on my own soapbox. That's what you're doing.
I think what's so funny is that Larry kind of cut off his guest that were trying to say something, or his co-host. And then he's like, the chat has been waiting as if to be like, no, these people matter. And then he's only saying this, he's only letting them speak and putting the comments up because it suits his narrative. Insane. Insane.
It's not genuine.
Agree.
Fuck. You just told us you're playing a character. How's that being genuine?
I said I play it up, but like certain things.
Well, certain things. Okay, so where's the benchmark? How much of it is you? How much of it is a fake persona?
I'll be able to tell you once I get some more experience.
Please do. I would love to have you come back and actually learn something.
All right, now what's Sam have to say?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this is going to take a couple minutes.
So settle down.
All right, you got the
Strap
floor.
in.
Oh, he's so impatient though.
So, my understanding, psychological space, the fact that you share, recommend.
Trying to be more social.
How many times did people tell me it was a bad idea to, be putting books directly in stores? That was a waste of time. But we see what happened, So I'm just saying, there's stuff that we can learn from people, even if we don't happen to disagree with them or we have a clash of personalities. I think there's something that we can learn from other people's success.
Yeah, because there's not one formula that fits all, basically.
I agree.
Right. I mean, I learned a lot from Larry and Max on for example, on marketing and pricing for Bad Girl Comics, right? Because that's chef kiss where they're at, right? They know their market.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a little bit from Tyler, and then I find other things, and then there's other things I research on my own, and I'm doing. Like I'm still looking for the manga vending machines that'll take you.
It's you I don't like, or the character you portray that I don't like. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'll say this: Larry knew that guy Sam was going to make a mad long, drawn out ass point, though. I mean, that shit. That sounded like my mom telling a story, bro. I mean,
that motherfucker had a soliloquy at this one.
He pulled him off the stage. He pulled him off the stream with a giant cane.
Bro, that's funny. I'll be right back, you guys. You keep it going.
Really sticking on that, huh? I mean,
yeah.
Hey, I was having a conversation with you here, just me. Just having a conversation, and it's been super productive. I think you were trying to be more so trying to win the argument. I was really trying to have a real conversation, but to be clear, I wasn't specifically talking about that. I was talking about Twitter Spaces, other things, and stuff like that. It's a shame that people aren't receptive to new and innovative things in not everybody, but certain people. But that's fine. Like that, people can do what they want, honestly. And
do you think it's an ego to see yourself as an innovator?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then you're definitely carrying an ego then.
I never said I didn't have an ego. I said we all have an ego. Like, I mean, that was my point. I mean, I think it's a bit hypocritical to. I get it. Like, I get the idea of being like, oh, this guy thinks he's hot shit. I'm gonna show him I'm hot shit. But in reality, there are people more impressive in the space than you. Giving me,
but I don't go fucking challenging.
You won't even let me finish my point. Let me know I can finish my point.
Go ahead.
I think this is a quick pause. He makes it clear that he's not going to challenge people that he like thinks are better than him, and he's only going to go for people that he thinks are below him, and that's just crazy.
The literal psychology of a bully, like that's what that is.
Yes, definitely.
Giving me props and you know, saying giving me cosign. So like, if you were the first person I met on Twitter, if I literally like I was on Twitter for a little bit, then it would definitely hold a lot of weight what you're saying. But you're not. You're like the 100th creator I've talked to, and it's not that impressive to me, bro. It really isn't. And again, if you wanted to come and just have a conversation, that's one thing. To have like this, I gotcha, like, oh, I'm gonna shit on this guy. Yeah, you need I don't know, do a lot more before I'm just gonna be like, oh wow, yeah, like.
Oh, I don't expect you to walk away with anything. Again, this whole show wasn't for you. It was for everyone else watching how not to behave.
Okay.
So you can go on and move along now. I think we're done.
And this whole show was for other people, Larry, to see how to not behave. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to add something else, if I may.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So, now Stokes.
Yo, the way he said that is, yeah, that's just crazy, dude. Is this supposed to be his homie? I'm confused.
Don't take this the wrong way, okay? Because this isn't meant as such. I recommend this book to everybody, literally to everybody.
Larry's about to start playing Oscar music.
I was asked to recommend this book, but for anyone utilizing crowdfunding, this book has some really great points. It discusses some, basics about marketing. I think that it's damaging your comic. It doesn't increase your shipping weight at all. It's just overall really great for protecting your book, showing that your customers that you care about the integrity of what you're sending to them. Makes a world of difference.
Comments in the chat. Brett's here. He says, "Did this guy just say he talked to 100 creators and he's not impressed? ? You need to humble yourself a hell of a lot before you crash and burn."
No. I said I talked to 100 creators in that you were not impressive relative, relative to.
Yeah, he just means me.
Yeah, you particularly. I think that's one thing I kind of don't like is that people act as if I'm not receptive to information. It's really not true.
That's how you come across, though, dude.
Yeah, no.
I do want to give Larry some credit there for kind of like acknowledging the point and kind of like not running with the false narrative. So that's one good point he made. One good W host moment.
No, it's fine, and I'll take it. I'm trying to take accountability. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So your persona online comes across as haughty and dismissive of any help.
Right. So, like I was saying, I'm aware of that, and that is granted kind of a cultivated image thing.
Yeah,
so,
and I understand that. I understand playing the villain. I mean,
no, but that's an undesired effect because there's no way
you're here because of that effect, though.
Yeah, I don't care.
I know you don't care, but this is why
I don't care about. Let me be clear. I don't care about you, like specifically.
All right, I'm done with him. Hey.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, guys. Larry.
Fuck. And there you go. And then he gets forcibly removed from the stream after he got cooked. Honestly, homie got cooked for 2 hours straight. I'm surprised it took him that long to kick Stokes off.
Keep playing, and then I gave you some time stamps, so we can go. we can go ahead and get out of here. What we doing? Chris, what we doing?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused too.
L host.
Yeah, my bad. I'm Trevor. You want to add something while I look for some timestamps to jump to.
I mean,
Not play it now, but and then go to the. You'll know.
I mean, it's just.
I hope that you guys can have another discussion in the future.
It's gonna be a few years, I think.
I just think there's value in exploring differences of opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That wide. Also, it's a double page splash. So like,
No, don't skip it. Go back. Go back to where you just were.
I
didn't
don't know
say
how I
much.
feel right now. I tried not to either, but
I didn't
fuck.
say much because I couldn't because it was crosstalk most of the time. So I made dinner.
Good for you. I wish I did that.
Well, what's your?
I'll tell you.
Am
Max,
I the
did you like
bad guy
anything
here,
else?
Max, or no? Like it was. What's
No,
up?
no. I
Are you
mean,
you know about it?
his persona is.
So you saw my interactions with Max was completely respectful, right? Would y'all agree?
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody.
Definitely.
And then my reaction with Skeet was constructive too, right?
Yep.
Then why they go immediately start talking shit? That is some whole ass shit, and that is like indicative of the kind of echo chamber that Larry has surrounded himself. Like I said, I'm cool with Sam and Sam and Leon for sure, but Skeet and Patient Zero can kiss my ass.
What's causing the problem?
You can go to the timestamp.
He's got a hard on for hating you. I don't.
Monica.
Like,
And Max said,
All right, hold on.
clouds being at the top just takes away from the text. Like the darkness under the cloud kind of washes out the lettering.
So what happened in here is that he joined in a Twitter space. He joined in the Twitter space to kind of spy on us after I left the YouTube channel. More dick riding. That's all that is. Go ahead, Chris. You can go to the next time.
I mean, like the thing is, the lettering doesn't need to be that wide. Also, it's a double page.
Well, it's Harley and Ivy. So you make it Harley slapping the ice cream cone. I thought it was Betty and Veronica versus.
No, it's Harley and Ivy versus Betty and Veronica.
Yeah. Okay. So use Harley slapping the ice cream cone out of Veronica's hand.
Bianca, welcome to the
Hello.
madness.
Bianca?
What's up, Bianca?
What's up?
All right, we can skip through this. Bianca said some nice things about me and was completely neutral.
So
Telling me.
what
Shouts out to Bianca.
We'll try
We're
and
gonna relive this
that's sort
way more.
So,
Right.
Bianca, my concern was that I was going to come here, and of course, my huge overblown ego was just going to eclipse everything. So I was really relieved.
Yeah, I yelled at him a bit because he was saying some dumb shit, man, and he was completely being dismissive. He was completely, just he wanted that fight. He got it.
It's like, why did you come out here?
Well, you were provoking though too. You got to admit.
But he came on here and it was just like he was just like, I don't care. I'm like, why are you here then?
I don't care. I don't respect you. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like,
Like I said, I want to give Leon some credit because you heard him. He was like, you were being antagonistic too. So, at least some of the people on the panel are willing to hold Larry accountable. So, you know what I'm saying?
what kind of reception do you think you're gonna get? Like seriously though, right?
Oh, my silence was agreement. I'm sorry.
I tried to be nice to him at the start, and then he sort of just, I could see it. Right? It's coming. You know what I mean?
All right, they talk of some more bullshit, and then it goes on from there. Let's get some final statements, some closing statements from everybody. This has been a 3-hour stream. Let's see what everyone's got to say. Armin, let's start with you, buddy.
Man, I think all of Larry's comments speaks for itself. During that stream, I'm still in shock. About that gangster rapper comment. I would say that I think somebody was saying that again, this isn't about Larry. This is about people. Into this particular, yes, it's about Larry being a bully, but it's also about how to handle beef. It's about how to talk, it's about how to stand up for yourself against these bullies who are going to come for you. And that's a conflict making skill, you know what I'm saying? And apparently it is now when you have people like Larry in the community. And so I would say, take this as a lesson that, you know, there are going to be these people, but, you know, you just have to keep doing you. Don't be let down. Don't be, you know, run over. Like, you know, stand up for yourself. That's important. And then, you know, just keep making comics, you know.
Trevor, do you want to give your closing statements?
Fuck them. That's, I mean, the guy clearly was not interested in having a conversation with anybody. You know, pretty much everything that he could have possibly thrown at Stokes were really a lot more true or evident about the way he carried himself. You know, there's just no, I don't have respect for that guy as a man. I don't have respect for that guy as a creative or as somebody who is supposedly a veteran. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just treat people with a decent amount of respect. And if and like Pat said, if it bothers you that much, get the fuck over it. Like, just go do your own thing. Clearly, like, this guy's dick riding, and you know, unless that's what you're into, I don't think there's much of a place for it otherwise.
Absolutely. Special Agent Julio, let's get your closing remarks, my friend.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing else you can really say at this point. I think the entire stream speaks for itself. The guy's a bully, and he's like mean, but he's not like tough. You know, he's like sassy. He's like that type of guy. But yeah, man, just seems like a jaded old guy, unfortunately.
100%. And Mr. Stokes, the reformed bottom, give us your closing statements.
After tonight, I'm a top. Yeah, fuck them. So yeah, so the question is why do we do this? And I think it's important. This is not going to be a normal thing for us. Even when Larry, this is a video that's like 2 months old. So I don't, or it's like a month old. So I don't plan on kind of addressing this thing all the time, but there will be times where we do address certain things like this. And mainly what I want to take away is like this. Yeah, don't let the bullies win. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let them walk over you or step on you. You know, hold your ground. Don't let the gatekeepers win. You know, if you're in the space, you're valid. And I think what's so unfortunate is that Larry did learn a lot from his previous campaigns, one of which got canceled, as Chris showed. And he's being successful for himself, and he's found a strategy that works for himself. Why? And more or less, the first thing he does is use that to shit on other creators. He DM'd Sam saying some wild shit. He DM'd other people. He said to Armin, I'm boisterous and I'm arrogant or whatever, but Armin isn't, Sam isn't, Race Comics. Those are nice. Those are two of the nicest guys on the platform. So bro, it's not them, is you. And I just don't get why people care so much. If I don't like you, we're not friends, I don't give a fuck what you do with your comics. I don't get why there has to be so much of a back and forth. And the irony of making a YouTube live space called Ego and Comics, and then inviting somebody up and then saying that you invite them up to embarrass them is crazy. Being mad at people because they don't accept your advice is crazy. And I think Armin said it. It's like Larry's Way or the Highway, but they're making Batgirl comics. Nobody in here makes those. It's a completely different thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think it's unfortunate, and I hope Larry learns to handle that. We don't give a fuck, because we don't. The older creators, I haven't heard a single person say a good thing about him that wasn't in his stream or on his panel. Haven't heard all the new creators. He's beefing with them. We don't give a fuck, bro. Sorry, deal with it.
Well said, Stokes. And yeah, I just want to reiterate what I said earlier. And you know, when dealing with haters, you know, if you have fans, you have haters, man. If you have people that love you, you have people that dislike you completely, right? So this just proves the fact. And you know, it also goes to show you that bullying exists even when you get out of elementary school, apparently. And you know, you don't have to take that. You just stand up for yourself and believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Like, Stokes knows that what he's doing is good, and he's on the right path. And it doesn't matter what somebody with one decently funded campaign says. You know what I mean? Like, and we're not here to be putting down anybody and gatekeeping, but obviously, as we've listened to to this past stream, they were talking crazy about our boy Stokes, and one of the good things about Stokes is he's built up a community. We've built up a community, and we're all here to support each other and stand up to people that decide that they want to talk shit and just really sort of give the indie comic sphere a bad name, and and really sort of like bring down even the sort of books that he's making. Like, I mean, we all I don't know, he just sort of is discrediting himself all over the place, and it's not cool, and we don't really condone that kind of stuff. So Mr. Pat Shand has stepped away from the camera, so he won't be able to give us his closing remarks, but we appreciate everybody for stopping by. It was a long stream. It was our second stream, and we had over 10 viewers basically the whole entire time. We even peaked at like 21, 22. So thank you, Super Comic Books family, for stopping in and chatting it up. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like and make sure to follow along for the next live stream. Next week we're going live with the founder of Crowdfunder. And yeah, Stokes, you want to add real quick before we head off?
Yeah, you want to pull up the thing?
Yeah, I'll pull up the.
So, and one thing while we're here, let's talk while we're here again, is that we were on Twitter Space. We made a really big community on Twitter Space. I'm really proud of the community that we built. Honestly, that's one of the proudest moments of my life. Is that everybody here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it says Special Agent Julio. He's more about assassinating community leaders, but everybody else we're building community, and we're here to do this YouTube thing to kind of bring some of the audience over, and that audience showed up tonight. And give me 1 second. I'm gonna talk to my co-host.
Yeah, everybody. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Oh, Mr. Pat Shand is back. Mr. Pat Shand, if you want to give us your closing remarks.
Listen to everybody, new and old, rookie and vet, and especially listen to me.
All right, I'm DMing you.
Absolutely.
I want you to pull up, Chris. Hold on.
Is it this, Stokes?
Let me see. All right, so look what we got right here. We got Niobe Comics, 700 subs. Joined September 2014. This motherfucker has been on this platform since the dawn of time. God made Larry's YouTube page and then rested. And this motherfucker wants to talk about nobody's watching, nobody's using Twitter Spaces. This is insane, dick suck. Larry, worry about your own shit, please. This is embarrassing, bro. You've been doing this shit for 8 years and not monetized? Insane, bro. Get some fucking help. That's it.
Damn. Well, everybody, thanks for stopping in. We appreciate all of you. Make sure to follow all the campaigns. Make sure to back Mr. Pat Shand, Smoke Weed, See the Future. Make sure to follow everyone. We go live January 9th, Control Z, number 1 and 2. And we appreciate everybody here. And thanks once again. So we'll see you next week, guys. We have an awesome stream planned with the founder, president of Crowdfunder.
Oh boy, don't let me on that one.
Oh man, and quitting? I mean, I guess we'll find out next week, guys. So thanks again, Comic Book Fam, and we'll see you on the next one.